might see that on his life. He has like 3.
Yeah, four.
You're gonna get mic'd up too now.
Mic up.
And now you're important.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
This one's Rick. You're on.
I'm on. Just like strapping myself with like those little.
We good on Zoom over there? You guys hear okay?
Cool. How's everyone doing? Did you guys like feel anything different about this room, or like when you walk up here, like what's like certain scent like smells like awesome, smells amazing, right? Don't you want that smell in your house too? Kind of refresh, rejuvenate. So we pump a lot of oxygen in this room so you can stay awake. Kind of like the casino, right? So today it's we kind of packed a lot of amazing speakers for our event today. So look around. If you do not know who's sitting next to you, make sure you introduce yourself, give them a hug. COVID is over. Don't have to be afraid, right? So glad we are past those periods. So everyone that's sitting here, it's partners, right? It either belongs to We Partners or EXP. We are all one big family. Make sure you get that phone number because you just never know in the future whether you're going to do a deal with them or they're going to give you a helping hand. So yeah, basically just, we're in this business. We want to be known, want to be seen. We want to know everybody. So
sorry, I got a mic up. All right. Well, leadership retreat. Why were we doing this? It's because getting all our partners together just to, we're mid-year, like I said earlier. And, we have our sponsors to thank. We have T-Bank. Roman Reyes had a last-minute cancellation, but we want to thank him for sponsoring as well. Cal and I, under Invest Group, on our commercial side, we're a sponsor with this. And also National Title, Lori is a sponsor. So we want to thank our sponsors for providing this. And it's just partial, right? We still have to come up with funds because we have an escape room team building event. We got a lot of stuff going on. So I'll pull up the agenda real quick. And this photo we took, 10 years ago, Calvin?
still look great, right?
No, I said we're never supposed to show that picture. But anyways, I'll come back to this. So this is kind of our agenda. You're welcome to take a picture. I can post this up later. We have a lot of great speakers, a lot of great friends in our company, and also just friends in the industry. So, and just having these meetings together. I know that everyone has their own meetings. Patina has an 8:45 every day, right, with your team. We have a lot of stuff going on, and so just appreciate the time because as partners, we're all learning. Right, we're all here to learn and how to, be better entrepreneurs. Really, if you have your real estate license, you're an entrepreneur. You have your own business. You got to figure out how to level up. Later on, Judy Ratsamy will talk about bossing up. Right, you have to be your own boss, and you have to bring something to the table. Right, if you're a person that's like, oh, what can you give? What can you give me? That's not being a partner. Right, so today is figuring out how to help each other out. Even though we have other leaders in the in EXP, not in our organization, that's fine. We're all shareholders. So just to understand, we actually own part of this company. It's a game changer. So I'm going to introduce my niece. She's somewhere. There you go. So we got Miss Collin County here. How are you? I'm going to mic you up somehow.
Go ahead.
A few mics.
You got my picture up there. Wow.
Yes, got it.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. If I saw you at another event, first of all, I want to say thank you so much to Daniel and Calvin for having me. Thank you to We Partners Network for being a sponsor of mine. I just got off of a weekend competing for Mrs. Texas representing Collin County, and I'm happy to announce that I placed top 13, so Dallas is big. Showed up and showed out, but I just want to encourage you, wherever you're at, today is supposed to be a fun day. It's going to be great. Learning about how you can be a leader. Everyone brings something different to the table, whether you've been in the industry a long time or you're a newbie. You have something to bring to the table. That's collaboration, that's leadership. You get to choose how you show up wherever you're at in the room. So when I was looking at the speaker lineup, I was like, wow, that's awesome. I also know some speakers in the room, so I'm going to be a little biased, but leadership is my jam. It's so much fun, but I encourage you, just lean in. Even if you don't think something applies to you, write notes, take notes. There might be some nuggets that you'll use later on. And you might surprise yourself. I surprised myself. Pageantry is not in my wheelhouse, but I took a leap of faith and I did something fun, and I might not leave it again. So I just encourage you, lean in, sharpen those leadership skills, and see what you can bring back to your teams, back to your offices, and you'll be surprised at what you see this year. So with that, I'm going to give it back to Daniel. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just going to be in the room writing notes in the back.
Thank you.
I remember Brittany was born. If you're in our organization or you're new, you know that we have different channels for chatting, right? So we use Discord. Discord is like a gaming platform, but we use it to kind of communicate with each other as our organization. We're over, yesterday we hit 169 people in our organization, and we just continue to grow, so that's one communication channel. And we can always pivot if there's better communication channels. That was just something that we wanted to utilize. Every Monday morning, we do have a morning huddle at 9 a.m. Central Time, so we have our East Coast and West Coast partners that hop on to that. So just make sure that you know that every Monday it's there. I know that other groups in our organization have their own calls, it's fine. This is just something where Calvin and I are on that huddle. If there's any questions or things, you guys can ask us. So that's every week. So, what is We Partners Network? We Partners Network is a partnership that not only Calvin and I created, it's actually all of you guys, right? So it's no longer our network, it's y'all's. So our mission is connecting real estate entrepreneurs globally in a supporting and a collaborative environment by leveraging the opportunities to create wealth, community, and legacy. Our vision is to be 10,000 plus partners that are creating generational wealth and sharing expertise by 2030 and beyond. And it doesn't stop there. And that is a powerful statement, and that's a vision that our goals. And when you have your mindset that way, you know you're going to get it to. It's not from me; it's from you guys. So that's that. So Roman Reis couldn't make it, but he really wanted to share about your network is your net worth, and that is you have to understand, like, you're in the real estate industry, right? Your network is your net worth. So think about that, and as you throughout the day and you hear all these other speakers, that's powerful, right? Because I have all the real estate assets, but my children, if I pass one day, they can sell it all. But the network is powerful. They can't that can't be bought, right? So you just understand that. We're gonna have Lori come up of our national title and other sponsors.
Lori!
Your mic though. Too many mics today. Sorry.
This way?
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I am Lori Lindsay, National Title Group. My company sells title and escrow services. We close both residential and commercial transactions. We have 3 locations, the largest one being in Dallas. We have a rock wall and a flower mound office as well. We are not geographically limited to those locations, though. We like to accommodate closings all over the Metroplex and actually all over the world. In addition to servicing your files that are closing in our office, we also like to help when you have a real estate transaction closing in other offices. We want to be a long-term partner. Sorry, my partner was supposed to be here with me.
We're your partners.
I know, thank you.
It's okay. We're your partners.
I was thrown for a loop this morning. He got called away. But I appreciate all of y'all being here and listening to me butcher this we want to be a long-term partner for you. We like to provide you also with tools and resources to build your business. And that's kind of where I fit in to the puzzle. I will teach you all how to use them and utilize that to expand your network even more. So with that, I'm going to go back to the back row. However, I am going to be here all day. And although I'm super nervous right now, I'd love to talk to all of you.
Well, Lauren, can you,
Yes.
because you guys have like a database or a software that you guys subscribe to, you guys pay like,
Correct.
a lot of to invest.
Yes.
So how can that tools or database help agents?
Okay, so we offer 2 apps to all of our clients and to all of you. One will help with closing costs, and one will help with neighborhood farming. The other thing that we have available is access to REI Source, and that is a data company that provides all the data for MLS and CoStar. We provide you with your own login and password so that you can create your own very detailed prospecting list, and it helps you to locate off-market deals. So I would be more than happy to sit down and run through any of those tools and resources with you. I'm always available, even though I seem very nervous and don't want to talk. I do.
So I mentioned like with agents, we love free stuff, right? So definitely look into that REI Source because that's a database that you can access for free through her. She can give you login to utilize that database, and it's very powerful. I've seen it. It has like mortgage information or debt information.
So for instance, if you were looking in a specific neighborhood and you wanted to find people who had adjustable rate mortgages because obviously their house payments are about to skyrocket, we can look that information up for you. You can dial in and work smarter, not harder.
Right. So. And it's for both residential and commercial. So like Lori has helped in the past, helped me on some of the buildings that I was looking at. I couldn't find who the ownership is, and I just gave Lori a call, and she went to that database, looked it up for me, because in commercial buildings a lot of time it's like either under a trust or LLC and all that. You have to really penetrate into it. But because of that database, it does provide those information. So definitely reach out to Lori.
We are tapping into our title resources to provide all of you with as much data as possible to set yourself, a little bit further ahead of the next person who's also approaching your client. So I would love to help you do that.
Well, thank you, Lori.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So when I joined or partnered with EXP 2 years ago, I was connected to Ian Flanagan, and he's up next, and he's a social media guru on YouTube and everything. He's going to share what he's been doing. How many in your organization now? Few. So he's last number I checked was over 2,500 agents in his organization.
Wow.
So anything is possible, and when you find good leaders to partner up with and talk to and just kind of see, and I help him with commercial brokers that are looking at the platform and vice versa. So we leverage each other and just help each other out, because as the company grows, we're shareholders, right? We want the company to do well. We want to have talent come in to our company together. So
that's it. He's handing it over. All right, we have some slides.
here's your clicker.
Okay. Who wants to generate more business through social media? Am I in the right room? Yes. Who wants to generate more business through social media? All right. So I'm going to show you guys some things that we're doing with our groups that can really help you have a different framework for your approach to social media. So I call Facebook my meta CRM. It is now my social CRM. Just want to make sure I get the right button here. All right, so I'm going to start here. How much time do I have, Daniel?
You have You've got 20 minutes.
20 minutes. All right, so I got 20 minutes to cram in 17 years of what I've been doing into your brain. So I want to start here. You guys ever seen these sites? You familiar with these? All right, so let me break this down for you. Google and YouTube are the most powerful search engines on the platform. Would you guys agree with that? How many of you have a Google My Business profile? All right, at the end of the day, end of the week, every single one of you needs to have a Google My Business profile. And if you don't know how to set up a profile, where do you go? Go to Google. You go to YouTube. When people say, how'd you learn that? I go, you know what? I Google everything and I YouTube everything. So that's how I've been learning. And then connecting with other people that I've been able to learn from as well. But Google is so powerful. And if you think about Google and YouTube, Google is written word, blogs, just information that people can read. And then YouTube is video. And it's so powerful. And those that choose, this is a choice. This isn't something that is not available for everyone. Every single one of you have the exact same opportunity. But Google is a search engine where you guys can be found. So starting with the Google My Business profile, if you have a website that you can start pushing blogs on to target your audience of who you want to reach out to you, then you can start writing. I'll share a couple sites that I use quite a bit. Anybody heard of answerthepublic.com? So answerthepublic.com, what it does is you type in a keyword phrase and it'll scrape Google and provide you with dozens and dozens of keyword searches or queries that people are already typing into Google. So if you live in the Colony, Texas, or Frisco, Texas, and you want to generate business of people that want to buy and sell in Frisco, Texas, what type of content are you going to produce? Content about Frisco, Texas. Selling houses in Frisco, Texas. The pros and cons of living in Frisco, Texas. Frisco, Texas. That sounds like a tongue twister. So Google and YouTube can be very, very powerful for you guys. You just have to make the decision to actually do it. So I heard that you're producing videos.
Yes.
You're starting to get some responses, some engagement, and all that stuff.
That's right.
So don't stop. So targeting your ideal audience on Google and YouTube it's available to you guys. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I would say choose one or choose two. I wouldn't say all three. I do drop videos on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, but I live inside of Facebook on a daily basis. So Facebook is the social platform that I have the most engagement, and that's where I stay. So the key to what you guys are wanting is engagement. It's the social interaction, the back and forth. That's how you raise your top of mind awareness. So you have your database, which I can't wait to hear Karen talk about database building, because the lifeblood of your business as a real estate agent is your database. If you're not marketing to your database, maybe you just haven't learned enough yet or confident enough yet to consistently market to a database. So I'm going to share some stories about each and every platform. And the first one here is Franco. This is an agent that's in an organization that has exploded on YouTube. He's had over 10 million views in the last 2.5 years. He's got 30 inbound appointments booked into his calendar for 6 weeks. That's the reality of what his business is now. So if you look there, 9.77 million, I mean, each one of his videos are having 300,000 to 500,000 views within a couple months. And Franco came from the mortgage business. Do we have any LOs in here? Very experienced. I'm not an LO. I always reach out to my LOs. There's so much information on that side of the business, I can't be an expert at everything. So Franco came from the mortgage business and got a real estate license and said, you know what, I'm going to give this YouTube thing a try. And he committed to one video a week. And then after about several months, he started getting some traction and started getting some views of people reaching out to him. And then he started uploading 3 videos a week. So the key to YouTube is, number one, targeting an audience, targeting traffic that's already being searched. So you can go to answerthepublic.com, and whatever type of audience you guys want to reach out to, meaning if you want someone that wants to buy a second home or an investment property, then all your content needs to be around investment properties, second homes, so on and so forth. First-time homebuyers is a huge niche. Franco's niche is first-time homebuyers, but he's done it on a national scale. He's basically a news outlet at this point. And it's incredible what he's done over the years, but I love showing this slide because it's really happening for him. And do we have any bilingual folks in here that speak Spanish? A ton of you guys. And as you know, the Hispanic market is very underserved. So creating a niche and building content around it through blogging or YouTube can really explode your business, but it takes time to get it going. It doesn't happen in the first 2 months. You may get a few phone calls, but if you stay committed to the process, you can literally build a marketing machine that will prospect for you while you're sleeping. Who likes to make money while they're sleeping? Right? Create content, and that is creating future business for you while you're sleeping. So the YouTube game, I mean, we could talk on YouTube for hours and hours and hours. It's very, very powerful. So it's searchable. So the type of content that you put out is searchable on Google and YouTube. What does your personal brand convey online? So when people see you online, what do they think? Do you have a tagline? Do you have a message? Are you in a specific niche? That's something that you guys have to decide. What's your niche? What does your brand say to the public online when they're looking at you? So that's something that you get to decide. So this is a good one right here. I love this one. That's supposed to be a joke. Just a realtor and her one-eyed chicken Sally out strolling the property. She gets so much business through her Facebook profile because she's in a community that farms chickens. And she shares her story. So being authentic, being vulnerable, and just tying in what you already do. Right? You have children, you have friends, you have family, you all have hobbies. So finding your community online is very important. So one of the things that Francesca does is she is part of several Facebook groups and she becomes friends inside these groups. And as she's becoming friends and having conversations with people, she's adding them to her friends list. So now they're seeing her feed. What I call it an engagement, or excuse me, I call it a cheer campaign. I have a full-time VA that's in my Facebook account, and she's just cheering everybody on. Happy birthday, congratulations, welcome to the group, thank you so much, welcome, congratulations. All day, every day, she's cheering on people. And what does that do? Whenever I post something, all those people, it comes up in their feeds. So the social game is an engagement game, top-of-mind engagement at scale. Perception is reality. This is important because those of you that have had high-level coaching understand this, that the person that you want to become, you have to live it, breathe it, feel it today. And when I say perception is reality, which I'm going to share here in a second with my next case study, is if you want to become a luxury agent, what type of content do you need to post? Luxury content. So we have any aspiring luxury agents in here that really want to break into luxury? I saw a little hand go up. So all week, I'm going to give you a little blueprint here in a second. Yep, luxury. But perception really is reality. Not that that's a negative thing, but what you put out online is what people perceive. So if you're not doing anything online, there isn't really any perception. But if you're trying to break into a different niche or become a luxury agent, everything that you push out needs to be about luxury. The amenities, the lifestyle, traveling. You've got to live it, breathe it, feel it, and believe it. Because if you don't believe it, no one else is. Ali Nori, this is a good story right here. 19 years old, got his real estate license, started coaching him. I coached him for about 2.5 years. I said, what do you want to do? I want to sell luxury houses. What did I say? You can absolutely do that. So here's our strategy. Since you have a lot of time right now, I want you to start scheduling previews every week. I coached them on what to say. Right? Some agents aren't going to just let you show up to a $5 million listing. Right? You guys know that. But I want you to, every property that you go into, I want it to be a minimum of $800,000. So every single week, he started going into properties and previewing them, new construction properties. These are all properties around DFW. And all of a sudden, he had one video go viral on TikTok, 4.5 million views. Perception is reality. He called me in a panic several months later. He's like, oh my gosh, I have 28 buyers and I can't find them any inventory. I was like, well, the first thing you need to do is take over the next couple of days and refer 20 of those out because you cannot service that much business. Take your top 8, find them houses, make it happen. So every single week, he was posting videos of him touring properties. And I said, look, you need a call to action. You need some way to generate engagement. So what did he start doing? He does 3 different videos of the front of houses. What is your style? It's like asking a question. What is your style? Which kitchen do you like? What pool do you like? Which backyard would you want to live in? So every video now has a call to action inside of it that elicits engagement. So when you see his posts now, all these people are typing in that kitchen, number 1, number 2, number 5. And the algorithms on social media reward engagement. So here's a test for you guys. If you post something in your social, like, hey, how many of my friends are homeowners? And you have 0 people even liking or commenting, that lets you know you need to do some work. Because sometimes I have agents that post that are very engaged in social media, and they'll have 55, 60 comments within a couple hours. I posted one last night. I took all day to kind of write out my thoughts of what I wanted to post, which I just celebrated my 12th anniversary yesterday. And Daniel was one of the first ones to comment on that. So I woke up this morning and there's, 40-something comments in there, and I went inside every single one, and I sent every single person a thank you. Engagement. So the social algorithm will continue to push that post in front of more and more and more and more people. Anybody seen those posts like, hey, I'm the best realtor in town, I'll service all your needs, just give me a call? And it's like crickets. No one wants to see that. But if you take a picture of yourself in a beautiful home with a beautiful kitchen, which y'all tour homes every day, I'll be touring some more this afternoon, take a picture, put in there, oh, this house is in prosper, whatever, like, what type of meal would you like to cook in this kitchen? Question mark. Do you like this kitchen? So you have to have a call to action to engage people in your social channels. So Ali, he just pulled it off. He did it. And then one day he calls me in a panic, and there was something going on with my text messages. It's like, this is kind of weird. It wasn't sending. It was voicemail going, it was when I call, it goes straight to voicemail, and he calls me in a panic. He just got off the plane in Germany, and he's like, I need to write an offer on a $3.2 million house in Dallas. I said, where'd you get the lead? He goes, he's been following me on Instagram. Called me, said, hey, I love everything you're doing. You're in the niche that I love. I want you to represent me on a transaction. Who wants that lead?
Yeah.
Right? That's the plan that we had with Ollie. Every single week, when you have time, you should be previewing houses, documenting the journey, and posting it to your social channels. This is on TikTok. 2.8 million likes, 40,000 followers. He's only following 8. And I told him, at some point, you're going to need to get in front of the camera. It's time to get in front of the camera, bud. He's a very good-looking gentleman, and I just wish him the best. He's just crushing it right now. So who's your ideal client? Can I answer that? Who's your ideal client? Think about that. Do you have a targeted niche, a targeted client, of a very specific person that you want to reach out to you? That's what you build content around. But you really have to understand that. Here is Alejandra, Instagram. All of her business comes from Instagram. So she is targeting her niche and her market. Obviously the family's important, so there's a good blend of real estating, showings, closings, the story. And then there's a part of your personal life that's important. Because if you're posting everything about real estate and you're not getting any engagement, I guarantee you start dropping pictures of puppies and kids, what happens? It just shoots up. I posted a video of my daughter when she was born. She was in the NICU, and I did a video, and I got really close to her, and she was laying there, and she's breathing, going 600 comments. It taps an emotional chord with people. That I realized that having a child later in life, that when you post things about your children, especially small ones, it just brings back the memories. Like now when I see babies, I'm like, oh. Especially little girls with bows in their hair, because I have a 4-year-old. And it strikes an emotional chord. So you have to blend in your personal life with your real estate. You have to be vulnerable. You have to put yourself out there. Let's see here. The next slide here on Alejandra. So here's some short videos she's doing, 5 reasons to work with a real estate agent. But look at the type of properties that she's putting out there. Do you think that she's targeting her ideal client? Right? So the niche that you guys decide that you want to be in, you have to promote that. You have to show it. It's kind of like show and tell. Show and tell. You're showing what you're doing. You're telling stories. That's another thing, storytelling. I have probably, 50, 60 slides in here, and I cut it off here short because I know I had a short time frame today. But storytelling is so important.
You say you're doing shorts?
Shorts. Shorts, I'd like to be in shorts. It's going to be getting hot.
No, like...
When I say short form video, 60 seconds or less, he's messing with me. So, but perception is reality, targeting your ideal client. So what you're posting online is very important to your niche and your brand. And you'll notice that some people are really, really good at it, and then you see just kind of random stuff by other people, and it's not really getting any traction. So you guys get to decide kind of what your niche is. Get to work. I love this one. Get to work. Get to work. That's just the only thing I really have to say about this is you just have to execute every single day, have a plan, have a process, get up and create. So my day looks like this. I wake up in the morning and number one, I try not to fill my schedule up. I know that's counterintuitive to real estate agents, but at this point in my career, I'm trying to eliminate my schedule. The only thing I want on my schedule is what time are we eating, babe? That's it. What time are we eating? I'm trying to remove myself from all this. So it's taken 17 years to get to this point. Anybody read Millionaire Real Estate Agent? Level 7? Right? Anybody on that plan? I know Bettina, they're level 7. Someone said, you must be really busy. She's like, no, I'm not. People will call me, he's like, I'm so sorry to bug you. I know you're busy. I'm like, I'm actually not. I got a 5-hour gap and dinner at 5. I'm good to go. I go pick my little girl up at 4:30. I block my time with my daughter. I'm on my daughter's schedule. So this was a rush to get here, to get her out the door, get her dressed. Right? I usually don't take an appointment until 10 a.m. because that's just how I chose to operate my life and business. So that's the thing about real estate is you guys can design your life. You guys can design your business. So I'll share a few more things about working with virtual assistants and all that, and I'll hand the mic back over. So back to the virtual assistant thing. Any of you guys think that you waste about $400 to $500 a month on just random stuff? Dinner, coffee? Everyone kind of shakes their head, right? So I'll encourage every single one of you to go through your expenses today, this week, and find $500 a month where you can hire someone to replace yourself in a lot of tasks. Your first virtual assistant hire should make you money, should help you prospect, should help you do the things that is a task repetitive, right? Texting, emailing, all these things. I specifically hired a virtual assistant to be the extension of myself because I can't bang the keyboard all day long. I can't be sitting there on social all day long, right? But if I want to engage people at scale, I hired someone to do it for me. So all day, every day, it's my cheer campaign. We have several groups, I have several hundred people in my custom friends lists. But your virtual assistants can really change the trajectory of what you're trying to accomplish. So don't overlook it. Figure out how to make it happen. Onlinejobs.ph is where you can find them and hire them. So I pay my virtual assistant about $3.50 an hour. That's a little over minimum wage in the Philippines. And she's very dedicated and just, she's grateful for me and I'm very grateful for her. But just making it happen, taking it to the next step. So your social strategy should include your business, your personal life, and your hobbies. So get serious about scheduling. I use you can flip your Facebook profile to a creator account, then you can start scheduling posts. On your personal feed, your business profile is good for running ads and is good to be found online, but if you're not spending money on your Facebook business, then there isn't, when I say business profile, if you're not boosting properties, you're not going to get any traffic. But the free way is just engaging. Just mass engagement. The same thing with your database, which I can't wait for Karen to come up in here because this woman has worked with top producers for multiple decades, and there's some commonalities that top producers do that everyone else takes, I don't know what it is, it takes them a while to figure it out, that nurturing a database. So social CRM, meta CRM. Use your database in tandem with your social profiles. So if you call somebody out of your database, you need to make sure that you follow up or put them in a custom list on Facebook so you can drip on them, be top of mind. Because whoever's top of mind gets the phone call, right? That's the name of the game. So all of you can raise your top of mind awareness by just being a little bit more intentional and understanding that social media is about engagement. That's the biggest takeaway here, is just the engagement with social media. And if you can incorporate virtual assistants in your business, I would highly, highly recommend it. Then you can start planning out your social strategy. So think of your social media as an extension of your CRM, your database, because you can actually upload your database into Facebook and you can target the people that are in your database. And the whole goal is to stay top of mind with folks. Questions? Anybody have any quick questions they'd like to throw out here? Alrighty, Daniel, thank you so much for inviting me. I hope I added some value to you guys today.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right.
There's the clicker.
Yep. All right. We have Brittany and our managing broker, Karen Richards. We have the honor. So some people think about EXP is just everything is an avatar. Well, Karen is not an avatar, and Brittany is one of a team leader as well.
Yes.
So,
have you ever seen Karen's avatar in the world though? It's always dancing.
yes, she comes out.
She's like that in real life too. She's like that in real life too. So awesome. Well, Daniel asked me to come up here and introduce Karen. So I'm Brittany Stewart. I have a small little business center, I guess you could say, in McKinney. And I was introduced to Daniel by Karen because commercial is a whole nother beast. I'm a residential realtor. So I'm so happy that I have met Daniel and Bettina and some awesome people. But I have had the pleasure of knowing Karen for going on 9 years. Karen and I worked together in a capacity at our previous broker. I was a team leader there. Karen was the broker and productivity coach. I jumped ship and went to EXP last year. And I cannot tell you how honored and blessed I was that Karen called and said, Brittany, why did you leave? And I said, Karen, you have got to get here. There are certain people that we meet in our network that we have a pleasure that we always want to align ourselves with and that we want to do business with. And I connected Karen with another friend that was a broker for EXP at another state. And Karen joined, and I'm telling you, it has been amazing to work alongside. She calls me her mini-me, but love working with Karen, and she is one of the managing brokers, and her energy and what she has brought to EXP and the Dallas market has been phenomenal. There's a lot of us that are team leaders that connect to EXP. We are not in the same organization, so you don't have to be, but we are really creating something amazing here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And without further ado, Karen, I want to introduce, has been helping us to get there. So thank you, Karen.
All right, I'm going to take my mask off, and I'll tell you a little bit more of that in a minute. We got to get this, if I get it. Y'all might have to help me. You know me, and I'll do this. Oh, there it is. I got a new phone, people. I do the, yeah. I haven't done this. Look. Yay! Hang on, let me get a couple. Oh, there's Daniel. We gotta get Daniel. Daniel visits me in the broker room all the time. Uh-oh.
Not for questions.
No. Now, I do wear a mask because of my husband. And so forgive me on that. And I will make sure you can hear me. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, well, I am one of your Texas brokers. We have 12 of us. Can you believe a brokerage has 12 brokers to help their agents? Do y'all know how powerful that is? I was a broker for KW, I'll just say it, for 8 years. And by the way, to follow you, oh my God. What were y'all thinking? Why did I have to follow Ed? Not fair. Anyway, I was a broker for KW for 8 years in 2 different offices. And it was, I couldn't help everyone all the time. And I'm just saying this just so you at EXP know how incredible support we have here. That I always have someone who can answer a question. I think many of you know this. And then EXP is an amazing company. And I just want to add to the YouTube. Y'all may not know. Real estate changed my life. I started in 2003, and I met my husband a couple years later, became disabled, hence the mask. Anyway, and because of real estate, changed my life. We could not have done what we did if it wasn't for real estate. Who else can say that? Some of you can. I know you can. And if I give you a little bit of tidbit today to change your life, I've done my job. But first, on the Texas broker team, I want you to know our entire reason to be here. Adina's smiling. She's my buddy. See, she was at another brokerage with me too. I know a lot of y'all. Is to serve you, help you accomplish your goals. Use your teams, use your mentors if you're with EXP currently. Use the broker team for a coaching call. Don't come just see us. Daniel comes see me all the time. Like I said, not for questions. He has people who want to come to EXP. I jump out and I wave at him and I dance for him, don't I? Just to have fun. But the point is, we want to show them that we have people to serve the agents. That is coming from the top. And that's what I want to share with you. We are the Make It Happen Club.
We make it happen for you. That's our entire directive. So enough of that. Let's get into some fun stuff. Now, because of my husband, he started YouTubing. My husband has become an influencer over the last decade with YouTube. We don't have as fancy a channel. He only has about 19,000 subscribers. And we get the craziest junk that shows up every day. We're, because of motorhoming, we RV, and we videotape state parks. You cannot hold it against me if you see me on YouTube. I'm yappy, and he does not make me look good. No, not bad, but just, I'm not always in makeup and hair and everything. I'm kind of looking yucky, but anyway, YouTube works. He is 100% right. I can personally validate it just in my husband's part-time gig that it's really done well, and it's consistency. And that's what he told me too. It's every week you've got to post something. Don't worry about what you look like. It's what you look like. All right? So let's get down to business. I am very passionate about the database. Right now, if I ask everyone, and some of you may not want to share this, how many people do you have currently that you have physically met, that you have on that you touch at least 3 times a month? How many do you think you have in your database? Who would share?
Well, a couple hundred.
Couple hundred?
Physically, but some.
Well, you get more than that. I know you do, because that's where you are today. What else? Now, think about this. All right, just hold this up. What if you just think right now, by the age of 20, most people know 200 people. Did y'all know that? On a first name basis? If you thought about reconnecting the next 12 months with people in your Facebook, your phone, the people you worked with, the people you've done business, the people you hung out with the soccer game with your kids, whatever you did at church, how many do you think you could come up with? Shout out a couple of you. 500? Couple hundred? 300? Okay, do I have to get everybody to stand up so we get some energy in this room? This is called interactive. All right, now, well, think about this. Let's just say you had 200. Take 10% of that number. Get out your leverage device. You know what that is, right? What's that number? 10% of 200. It's hard math today. 20. 20? Okay. It's 20 transactions you're not getting today if you're not keeping up with them. That's legitimate numbers. That book Ian talked about, The Billionaire Real Estate Agent, that's an operations manual, and it's true. Now, in that book, they did a study of millionaire agents who actually made $2 million, netted $1 million. And they studied all their businesses all over the globe, every different brokerage. But they had to make $2 million in commissions. Wouldn't that be cool? That's a nice figure, right? All right, what if you could have a piece of that? What if I share with you today could drastically change the next 12 months of your life? Would you be cool about that? All right, well, this can. I personally watched it as a real estate coach for almost a decade. So they found that for every 12 people you meet and kept up with, that 3 times a month, would equal 2 pieces of business, 1 repeat, 1 referral. Drop the mic. Right? Y'all know how powerful that is? All right, let's fast forward. Now, that didn't happen instantly. What if you only got 1 out of 12? Just 1 out of 12. Because we're in 2007. This is when that study was done. We passed a little pandemic, economic things. Everybody take 200, divide by 12. This is hard math. 16.6 transactions a year. If you did 16.6 transactions in the next 12 months extra than you currently do today, new or seasoned, what would change in your life? Because that's over 6 figures on an average. Am I right? Right? This is easy. Now, let's chunk it down. Okay, does that get you excited?
Yes.
All right, now, if I ask now, I want everyone to be honest about this. If you have to, meet new people. If you could meet new people every day, 5, 2, 10, and you committed to 44 weeks a year, I'm going to let you have 2 months off. 5 days a week. How many would you get a day? Come on, y'all. How many of you could you commit to daily that you could meet? How many new people? 2, 3, 4, 5? What is it? 5? Remember, you got to do this. This is commitment. That's the difference in the game. Anybody else? 3 to 5? 4? Okay. How about we're going to take the part-time approach? 2. Right? 2. I'm going to share how you do that too. Can everybody do 2 a day? 10 a week? You can meet vendors. You can call your database and say, hey, who do you know I should know about that I can help grow their business? Hey, who do you know that might be looking for investment properties, or do you look for investment properties so I can get you on the list when I come across some cool deals and improve your financial situation? So that's pretty reasonable, right? So 44 weeks times 10 is what? It's tough math. I told you it's algebra right now.
300.
Take 440, divide by 12.
36.66.
Icon level, right? It's icon. That's how powerful this is. You've got to chunk this down. Now, we've got to put it on that system. Now, for so far, everything I've just shared is free, right? Free. I like free. We can do YouTube, we can do social media, we can do marketing. That costs money, time, and it's marketing. This is face-to-face prospecting, the most powerful tool. And when you do more like marketing and social media, it's more like 50 to 1 results than 12 to 1. So this goes faster. You should do both. Now, how about this? What am I going to call them? We got to set them up system. You must have 6 calls a year. So you start in January, maybe you take the database that you start building, you divide half is February, half is January, right? January, Happy New Year, how you been? How's the family? What's happening? That's it. Can you do that? I don't need to call everybody and say, who do you know wants somebody else? That would drive me crazy. How about you? Wouldn't that drive you crazy? Okay. Now, then the other half, they get a call in February, right? Now, 6 times. That is the key to the results, by the way. 6 is a minimum. So how about 6 texts? Personal. Not a mass text. How's the family? Did y'all have a good soccer game? How's your dog? I'm a dog thing. I got a dog thing going, if you know me. And it could be anything. Who do you know that I should know about? Do you have a vendor I should know about? Right? So 6 texts a year. We're at 12 touches. Are we still free? Yeah. I'm making this simple because this is the key to success in real estate. The number 1 fastest way to success. Now, how about 1 email a month? Now, who likes emails? Did you hear me? I said 1, not 10, not 20. Don't put me on 50 drip campaigns. 1. Because you only want 1 so they see your information come across just so that it's subliminal in their mind who you are. That's it. That's why you don't want to overdo the email. So we're at 24 touches and we're still free. Now on your emails, don't worry about what's in it. Call your local title company and get some free information. They send out the fireworks schedule. They send out all kinds of things happening in your city. They send out market reports. Why would you recreate the wheel? And for those of you who are already successful, think about how you can improve this system to get more leverage. Right? Is everybody excited? Yeah. I mean, are you getting, you see the bigger picture now, right? Now, we got to add on more. We had 24 touches. How about 6 social media posts on their personal Facebook page? You have to schedule time for this. This should be purposeful prospecting 2 hours a day. This is your prospecting. Just reaching out and having a good time with people. We're at 30. We only have 6 more to go. Write a couple personal notes, right? Do an event if you've got budget. Like we're at an event today, aren't we? Yeah, invite them. And you can send, I talked to an agent I worked with here years ago in Austin, and she told me about the #1 producer in Austin in that company at the time. He took with his, now this is when you develop, depending on where you are in your business, he actually, it gets so hot in this mess. But I promise my husband I'll wear it. What he did with his top 25 people twice a year, so think about this long term. Top 25 referral people. They sent like 2 personalized things like personalized towels, mugs, things like that, books, cool books, things like that, twice a year to those. That's when you have budget. I've made this very boring so far, haven't I? Yeah. There's a reason for this. Success is boring. That's what creates success over and over and over, doing the same thing over and over. Oh, in that book. But it works. Now, when I call, there's so many things you can call about. I'll just give you a couple ideas. You can say, hey, Daniel, man, how's the family? It's June. I just want to let you know, I've got a great fireworks schedule, and I'm sending it to you, and I hope you have a fabulous 4th. That's how simple this is. Does anyone have something they do that is very successful?
Vendor list.
Vendor list, okay, that's my favorite. All right. You can also create an incredible personal, I call it personal professional service provider. Vendor. I like professional service provider. And what I do, so you can reach out and call someone. I can call, I'll put Brittany on the spot. Brittany, your local CPA. Hey, Brittany, it's Karen Richards. So this is how you can add your database with vendors, besides calling your database for them. So Brittany, Daniel gave me your information. You're a local CPA, right? I know. Well, I'm a local realtor, and the reason I'm calling is I never have enough CPAs in my network for my client sphere, people I know. Are you taking on new business? Well, good. Now, if you said no, what could I say? Anybody know? Who do you go to? I'm not going to get upset and go, oh my goodness. I had an agent one time say, well, the HVAC guy was busy in summer. They all are in Texas. What are you talking about? Of course. Anyway, so I'd say, well, you know what? I might be able to add to your business. I'd love to meet you for 5-10 minutes via Zoom or in person. Let's hook up, and I've just added to the database. You can door knock to add to the database. You can call your database and ask for vendors, people they know, people, who is in your network I should know about just because they're cool. It doesn't matter. And that's how you can grow this. Does this help?
Brilliant.
Is it? So simple though, right? The key is simplicity. We go off. When I sit in the broker room, we're not answering questions. And I'm talking to new agents here, really. They get all wound up with their KV Core side. That doesn't bring you business this week, right? Database does. They get tied up. I'm going to get my YouTube channel. I said, how many people have you put in your database, in your customer relations management tool? And they're like, none. Okay, well, let's start with the basics. Use the marketing too, but get the basics first because that's the fastest source of business. Now, lastly, are there new agents in the room? Just a few? Come on. There's more than 1 or 2. If you've been in this less than a year, raise your hand. Thank you. Okay. Finally got some honest people. No, but I want you to know something. One thing you should know as a new agent, and this will share with the seasoned agents, because they might get an idea here. When you're a new agent and you just get started, the numbers are, it takes, y'all might know this, you may not, it takes 100 to 120 to 140 talks. That guarantees an appointment. It's a guaranteed. But real estate has to enter it. Like they have to know you're in real estate. Or something about real estate comes up. I can prove this. It's already been proven, but even in my coaching groups, it helped. So I had a coaching group, we were doing accountability, and I said, all right, who got an appointment this week? And I had 2 go, me. I was great. How many people did it take you to call? One said 121 talks. No joke. Another one, 111. So if you're new, I share this to help you. It's a numbers game. don't panic. You're going to talk to 100 people to get an appointment. No, that is a guarantee because you'll hit enough people to get one. Now, here's the next cool thing. You seasoned agents, if you're not doing this, you should be. Tracking your numbers. So I have another agent, top producer now, very quickly a top producer. Second year in the business, tracked her 12 months of talking to database. They counted it for a year with her coach. They dialed it in for every 36 people she said hi to. These are just people like, hey, how you doing? How's it going? How's the family? We're not talking people leads and things like that. We're just talking database. She got 3 leads, and for every 3 leads, she closed a deal. Out of 36 people, do you see the difference? That's the power of the database. Now, who's ready to go talk to a couple people? It's that simple, and I want everyone in this room to know. You can reach out to me personally. In fact, get your pens out. You get my personal number, and I will set a time with you. Now, if I get everybody at once, it might take a while, but I can do it great. But I want you to know, as one of your state brokers, I am so committed in your success. You ready? I'm on your phone, of course. I feel special. No. All right, I have a local number. If you're local, you can look me up in MLS, but I have to give you my office number. 512-982-1855. And of course, my email is my first name, Karen.Richards@exprealty.net. I cannot express to you how important the database is. That's the one thing I see the most that people don't set up, and it's the simplest. A couple people, and I'm going to get out of here and get the next presenter, but who has kind of changed the way they look at things, put a database together, and it really changed their business? You. Brittany back there. Yeah. It's amazing. Get with those people and ask them, because when you change this is the long term, and it's proven and studied. And I hope then you put Ian's philosophy and what he has done to be very successful with social media and YouTube. High five you, because that just takes it to the next level. And just like Levi and all the guys, they just took it to another level because of the marketing. You put those 2 bad boys together, you're there. Well, I'm honored to get to serve you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Karen. All right, our next guest is from the Asian Real Estate Association. She's also in the title business and everything. Darlene Clark is a good friend of mine. So appreciate her coming up here. So another thing about database, right? Your network, right? So when I joined ARIA back in what year was that? 2010 when we went? 2011?
Yeah.
Somewhere around that.
Yeah.
So we went to a national convention. Calvin and I, it was in Vegas, I believe, and we just met a lot of great people in the organization. And from there, just creating our chapter in Dallas, and then helping Austin get set up, and Houston and San Antonio, and just it's like a family, right? And then meeting people like Darlene later on as well. So, but I'm no longer on the board. I was the past president in 2016, but I'm glad that there's a lot of leadership that's taking charge, and because we set the foundation. So, Darlene, take it over.
Thank you, passing the baton, literally. So, I joined ARIA back in 2017. As Daniel was leaving president, one of my friends, Kathy Capps Warren, was coming in, and that was my first event was installation for Kathy being president. And so it was amazing. It's always around, Lunar New Year's, and it's an awesome event. But let me go back. #WeServe. You should be serving on some association. We'd love for you to join a committee. Everybody is unique, and you guys have special talents, and you should be putting yourself out there and getting back to the real estate community, right? Also, your network is your net worth. So join a network and watch your net worth grow. I started in mortgage back in 2014, and I went to an event, and there was a past president for Women's Council of Realtors Collin County, and she said, "Hey, you should join Women's Council." And I said, "Oh, okay, I'll think about it," right? So I eventually, months later, joined, went to an event. It was a lot of fun. And then she said, "Hey, you should join a committee." And I did. And then they were like, "Hey, we have this position open." And I just said, "Okay, yes." I just basically said yes. If they asked me to do something, I said yes. I showed up, right? And that's life, right? People ask you to do things, and you say yes, and you show up.
Voluntold?
Yeah. Voluntold. Exactly. So, Women's Council. When I started and I joined, and I learned so much. One thing I learned is how to create an event on Eventbrite, and then connect it to my Facebook, Women's Council Realtors business page, right? And then someone in Women's Council told me how to create a list in my friends list, a group of realtors. So then when I'm out meeting realtors, I friend them on Facebook, and then I put them under realtor. So then when I'm out going to different events, whether they're Women's Council, ARIA, CCAR, all these different networking events that I go to, I'm going to invite all my real estate friends, right? And what I can do now, because I've built this up since 2015, I can click a button and invite up to 500 people with one click in my groups. So realtors, lenders, insurance, what have you, right? So as Ian said, Facebook for me is my CRM, So I love that. It's easy. And then also in that, when you're on Facebook, I can just go to my realtors or lenders or whoever I want, that group, and only see their posts. And that way I can spend my time more efficiently. I'm not seeing my friends from high school's posts and, things like that, right? So it just makes it easier for me to touch them, right? I'm going to like, love, comment, things like that. Engage. So those are things that I learned from Women's Council. And then I've taken that knowledge, and then now, of course, I took Godwin out to lunch back in 2020, and when I got into title. And he was like, "Hey, you should be," I was a member of ARIA, and he's like, "Oh, you should do something with ARIA, like have a position, like maybe membership or something." And I'm like, "Okay, yes, okay." So I did. And ARIA has been amazing. So, of course, now I am membership, marketing, events, and I'm sure I've had a conversation with most of you guys. "Hey, join ARIA. Hey, come to this event. We have 1 or 2 events a month. Have you joined yet? Have you joined yet?" Like, how many did I ask today? Like, how many are members? ARIA, thank you, thank you. How many are going to join today? Okay. Thank you, everyone. But whether you join ARIA and become a part of, it could be, there's CCIM, who Calvin is president, and, there are volunteer positions. They have a golf tournament tomorrow. They would love to have you, volunteer for any of their events, or just being, a member. There's Metrotex, there's Women's Council Realtors Collin County, Dallas, Tarrant County, they're all over. NAREP, of course, and there's a couple of different chapters of NAREP as well. Metrotex, that's where I met Rick.
NAREP.
What is it?
NAREP.
NAREP, yeah. So anyways, there's lots of associations. Whatever speaks to you, join, go to the events, become a part of, volunteer, and then maybe get a position, if that's something you want to do. I would love for you guys to come on. I need committee members, to help all of our events go smoothly and go out into the community and help our real estate friends. And also, for ARIA, it's the Asian buyers, we advocate for them and things like that. So thank you for listening, and thank you for joining and being a part of it.
All right. So we have another special guest. We have Bettina. I met Bettina maybe a year and a half ago with Rent Go at this his suite one time, and then but didn't really get to know you until we were volunteering for our North Texas rally, and just seeing her leadership. And your family, your kids are amazing. Your husband, she has an RV too, so she, so just an amazing person. And I wanted her to speak, and I asked her, I said, Bettina, can you help me speak at our leadership retreat? And she said, sure. And then she asked me, what do you want to speak about? I was like, you're just authentic, and could you just talk about that topic and whatever you want to share? So,
yay!
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you imagine?
And she got me this book today.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big reader, but I said I will read this.
By when?
By when?
By when?
Yeah.
So the vision is by June 1st.
June 1st.
So before I go to, I'm going to carry this with me to Orlando, our shareholders, and it's going to be in the plane with me. All right?
I love that.
So you got to keep me accountable.
Yay! He's committed, right? Yeah. So, guys, when he said authentic, I was like, I don't know that I've ever spoken or shared on this subject. I'm a realtor, right? I know contracts, I know negotiations, we can talk about database, we can talk about all that stuff, but being authentic, I was like, golly, right? And then I thought, holy moly, it made me reflect. And I'm so grateful, Daniel, that you asked me to speak on this topic, because during that time, I reflected. Right? I reflected through the seasons of my life. So take a minute and reflect in the seasons of your life, right? The good seasons, the ones that brought you joy, the ones that filled your bucket, right? Then think about the seasons that kind of sucked the energy out of you. Just take a minute. The ones that sucked the energy out of you, were you being truthful and real with yourself, or were you trying to be something that somebody else told you that you needed to be in order to achieve what you needed to achieve? Right? Now think about the times where you were honest with yourself and you were really, really, really going for what you wanted to do, how you wanted to do it. Did that fill your bucket? Did that make you smile? Right? So many times, he talks about being consistent on social media, reaching out to people in our database, right? And making it personalized, right? And, giving back. And sometimes our first instinct on that is I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't do anything. I don't have nothing to give. I don't have it in me. Don't want to show up. Why? Because it sucks. It sucks the energy out of you. It sucks. That's the definition of sucks. When something sucks, it sucks the energy out of you, right? Truth? Truth. So then you're so what does it take for us to show up authentically? This is, if you want to know my process in thinking through this, Because again, Daniel, thank you for really helping me through this, because I'm 50 years, I just turned 50. I'm trying to find, thank you, I made it, half a century. But are we still finding ourselves? Are we still discovering who we are? Right? The key here is that we're more happy with who we are today than we were a year ago. Right? And what was I saying? I haven't changed, Ian. It's just who I am. What was I saying? What was I talking about? Showing up, not sucking, filling your bucket, doing all those things, right? Consistency, right? The reason we don't want to do a lot of these things is because we're wanting to be something about something else. Goals. I get it. Now I know where I was at. Vision. You have to envision what you want to become. Right? If you think about it, the person I was at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, do you know what I did? I partied. I could have kept going. Y'all didn't have time, I partied. That is what I did. That was my season. Right? And a lot of times we have judgment, and they're not always positive on the season that we went through or who we were. Sometimes that judgment is not positive. But golly, I was sitting in my aunt's house. They were concerned I wasn't going to, make it through university. I didn't. I partied for 8 years or so, off and on. True confession. But my dad, who was honest, always very honest with me. He told me from the very beginning, Bettina, university isn't for you. Just don't go. It's not for you. It's not who you are. Don't go. And he kept telling my family, who had my best interest at heart, you need to go. How are you going to be? That's what successful people do. My whole family, they went to Oxford and IT. They're all, that's those people, right? That wasn't me. And he kept on telling them, he's like, leave her alone. She'll figure it out. Let her figure it out. Right? And I went through seasons that other people judged. Right? You can choose to allow other people to judge your life, or you can choose to take the lessons that life gives you and be grateful for each one of them. I tell people all the time, I made some bad choices, and I'm so grateful for them. I'm so grateful for the bad choices, because if I didn't make those bad choices, I would have missed out on the lessons. Right? So here comes the next part of being authentic. Have less judgment. Have less judgment. Have so much less judgment that you just quit judging. Right? How freeing is that? In fact, I was at a conference. You were there. He said the reason there's so much more stress now is because all the judgment that we have. Now, we do it without realizing that we do it through social media. So if you can leverage that out, yay. Because every post, you have to make a decision. Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you heart it? Do you laugh about it? Do you comment on it? Do you don't comment on it? What do you say? If I said something, oh my gosh, every single thing on social media. But then you have those people, who's that guy on Apple, and they did a big thing, and his big thing was, I wear the same thing every day. Thank you. Y'all all know. Why did Steve Jobs, if you didn't hear, Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day. Why did he do the same thing every day? One less decision. For those of us who's already been scrolling on social media, how many decisions have you already made today? And you've got these high performance folks wanting to make one less decision. Every judgment that we make is a decision that sucks the energy out of us. And we give it away. And if we don't have the energy, how easy is it to show up authentically and true to yourself? Because we're judging. And really, that judgment, when we have a judgment on somebody else, right? We're judging somebody else. Is it a real, authentic judgment on them? No. It's a judgment on what? Ourselves. So if you want to know what we think about ourselves, go ahead and start thinking about what you think about other people. You want to love yourself more? You want to love yourself more? What's the best way to love yourself more? Go love somebody else, right? Go love somebody. So let's take 30 seconds and love somebody around them. Give them a high five. Give them a hug. Give them some love. No. Rewind. Stand up. Guys, stand up and love somebody. Stand up.
You're good. 5 minutes.
Yes. I didn't say network. I said love. Give them a hug. Give them a high five. Let's get our seat. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guys, how did that feel? Feels good. It feels good. It feels good to love others. It feels good to love ourselves. It feels good to be authentic. Right? So if you don't know what to do on social media, if you don't know what to say, be yourself. Go with the truth. Right? If you don't like who you are now, if you don't like your truth, like honestly, I'm not saying I don't like it because my pinky is too short. You know, but for real, like who you are in your spirit and your soul. What can we do? If you don't like who you are, what can we do? Did you hear that? Say it again. Change. But if you don't have clarity of who you want to become, you might change, but you might spend 6 years partying just at a different club. Right? Karen, why are we shaking our head? But you know what I mean, right? So you have to have like an end goal in mind. What is your end goal? Real estate, for me, was a vehicle to spend time with my family. Right? That's why I got into real estate. Well, no, back up. I got into real estate because my dad told me, when the guy was honest, he said, Bettina, you like to help people. You should be in sales because salespeople are awful. They just sell stuff. They don't actually want to help anybody. You'll make a killing just because you like to help people. Right? So, guys, what is your truth? What is your real? When we have judgment, and I want to say this. I want to think about this also, and then I'm going to close. The reason we judge others with that bitterness, and you see people do this, right? We do this with those high school kids that show up in their pajamas at the high school. We're like, can you believe they're showing up in their pajamas in high school? Like, what's this world coming to? Right? So, you've got one of these three feelings. You did it, and you didn't like it. You're like, oh man, I should have shown up better, da 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 da. If you have a negative, right? If you have a negative judgment on it, if you're like, oh yeah, we are afraid that if we were in high school, we'd do it too. Or it's something we currently do, and we don't like that about ourselves. So we did it and didn't like it. We're afraid we might do it, or it's something we currently do. So, it's kind of like if I were in that position, and I was like, when they said that, and Kim Elizabeth told me this, I've texted her 4 times because every so often I go off that wagon and I forget. And I'm like, why is it that I'm judging? Why am I thinking negatively about when I have a negative thought? I'm like, okay, why am I having that negative thought? Because this isn't about me, right? Something's going on. Because I don't want to cast that judgment on somebody. I want to love them. Because I want to be authentic and true. I want my bucket to be filled in areas that it's not filled. I want to fill other buckets in areas that other people need to be filled. Because we all come into this world with like all these buckets. They're empty. And as we go, we start filling some start overflowing. We meet somebody else. We know that they're empty in this. We can give in that, right? You've heard me say this, all about the buckets, right? Did that make sense? Like you have these buckets. Some of them are empty. Some of them are kind of full. Some of them are overflowing. How many of us are trying to give from an empty bucket? Right? And when we're giving from that empty bucket, we're getting bitter. Because we're pissed. Because we're giving from an empty bucket, but that's our fault. Right? Go find somebody who's overflowing that bucket and receive from them, and go give in from a bucket you're already overflowing from. I'm searching to be in my authentic self. Because I'm still becoming. I have goals and visions. I'm becoming somebody. I'm becoming a grandmother. I don't have grandkids yet, but I'm becoming a grandmother. I'm becoming retired. I'm becoming like a leader. And I'm so grateful to all of you guys who fill my bucket. And if there's ever anything I can do to help fill any of your buckets, my cell phone number is 214-683-6746. Or you can just Google me. I don't hide.
We have a marker. We can mark it on the wall.
Oh, it's okay. You can Google me. I don't hide. Or you can go on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. That's where I live. Call me, text me. Is this true for those who do call me and text me? Know that I will. I love you. Yeah? Yes. I love you. And I love you for all the shit that you've done and all the bad decisions that you've made. And the more bad decisions that you've made, the more I love you, because I know that you probably have a lot to contribute. And if there's ever anything I can do to serve you, that would be an honor and a privilege. So thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
All right. We're going to have Judy step up really quick and introduce. We have a special guest as well. So.
Hey guys, Bettina, you're amazing. Thank you for being here. Wanted to introduce Cliff Bogard, our EXP commercial state broker. We have, of course, our residential and commercial, so it's great that you're here, Cliff. Give me a hand.
All right, well, I didn't know I would be speaking today, so they just said I was going to be speaking. So in any case, how many folks in here are commercial? All right, and you're EXP commercial, of course. Now, how many folks are resimmercial? Resimmercial, okay. Well, we've got some great things going on at EXP Commercial. We have some announcements that we're going to be making at shareholders. We've got some commercial. We have some commercial icons. Some people who I've known in the industry nationally for 20, 30 years, really national names, and they're going to be coming over. We have a couple of very large firms, including a New York-based firm that's going to be bringing about 60 really high producing commercial agents. They're coming over. We're adding new tools, and so a lot of exciting stuff. In fact, I was just in a meeting prior to coming over here with James Wong, who is doing amazing things in building EXP Commercial and bringing over tools and other partners. So it's really exciting stuff, only some of which I can talk about. Some of the announcements are going to be made at shareholders.
Tell us.
What's that?
No, we're live. Everybody can't tell us.
Okay. I can't tell you. I can't mention it. But the other thing I would say, we are in a period of a time of change for commercial real estate. We have higher interest rates. We have a lot of commercial loan maturities coming up. For those who aren't familiar with commercial loans have shorter terms than their amortization periods. So we have a lot of commercial loans that will be maturing that need to be renegotiated. There'll be some big balloon payments, and at higher interest rates, a lot of these properties, especially there's a lot of talk about office properties being in trouble. I can tell you that there are opportunities there. And this, I have been in commercial real estate. I've done nothing but commercial real estate for a little over 43 years. So I've seen some really big up and down economic swings. And I'm not going to be one of those folks to tell you that I have made more money in down markets than up markets, but I can tell you that there is a lot of money and a lot of opportunity to be made when there are distressed properties, and we're going to have some distressed properties. And so we just need to change our mindset. We need to work with people. You've heard the term cash is king. If you're working with investors who are really willing to take a little bit of risk, in my experience, the people who have made the most money over the long term are the folks who take a chance in these down markets. They buy, we've all heard it before, buy low, sell high. And so there's going to be great opportunities there. And for us as commercial agents, there's going to be great opportunities to purchase those properties. In fact, just today, literally this morning, Steve Brown, who's the real estate writer for the Dallas Morning News, has an article about a new fund, a $250 million fund that is going to be exclusively pointed toward purchasing distressed commercial properties. And this is not the first fund. So I've seen this happen before. Don't be afraid of it if you're in commercial real estate. Also, if you're working with commercial tenants, this is going to be a great time for commercial tenants going forward, as there will be, if there are some more vacancies, especially in the office side, you can really look like a hero in negotiating great deals for your clients. So those who do well in down markets are those who can adapt and change your focus. If the pendulum swings this way, do more of this. If the pendulum swings this way, do more of that. And so we're in one of those times right now. And it is, again, it's a time of great opportunity. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Just kind of change your focus, and there's a lot of money to be made. So anyway, anyone have any random commercial real estate questions or about EXP Commercial?
Well, I know on May 1st we announced our icon. You mentioned that earlier, so excited about that.
Yeah, so there's finally, I know there's been a lot of talk about icon for commercial real estate, so that's been announced. All the details been sent out? Okay, good.
Detail sheet, which is very similar to the realty side. So your cap money, if you reach a certain production level, you get your cap money back in form of public stock.
Right.
So it's great.
Right. So, and I haven't even memorized all the details yet. So, thank you for that.
Well, our cap is at 20,000 on the EXP commercial.
Yeah.
And, Calvin, you checked your stocks, right?
Yeah.
It came in.
Yeah,
So we have a commercial icon here.
All right. Congratulations. Is he our first? Is he the first? Maybe.
I guess.
Maybe.
I'm the first.
In the first, yeah.
Well, that's what we're going to say. Until somebody tells us differently, Calvin is the first. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Cliff. It's great to have partners in the company, and just having Cliff, Karen, our state brokers connect with us, right? And when you understand that and the power and the leverage, Cliff was actually my CCIM instructor back in 2008. And that's how I met Calvin back in 2008, 2009. And so it's been great. So our next guest speaker, and Brittany is going to introduce.
Hello, thank you. So I actually know this guest speaker by way of family. She's my aunt. So I feel like all of you are like extended family. Daniel being my uncle, Linda being my aunt. But she is talking about one of my favorite things. I already told you guys I love personal development and leadership. And I'm sitting next to her in the back, and I'm kind of looking at her notes, seeing what she's got up her sleeve. But we've got a couple more speakers. I know we're kind of getting hungry, but lean in. There's a couple more good speakers, and then we'll get to the fun part. So. I know we kind of stretched. Why don't we all just stretch? Stand up, stretch, do a little hug, handshake situation again. Wake up our bodies because you're going to want to listen. Without further ado, while you're taking your seats, here is Linda Vo.
Linda!
All right, I have to have notes or I'm going to go on the tangent, so hold on a second. There we go. All right, whoops. Oops, I hit the button. How do I go back? Go back. Oops, okay. There you go. Dang, spoiler alert. Okay. So thank you, We Partners, for having me here. So yes, Brittany is right. I love personal development. I've gone to retreats. I've gone to conferences. I've done a lot of self-help. I've gone to therapy. I've done all of it. And I think all of us as humans, we've all failed. We failed when we tried to walk our first steps, right? We fell. We probably failed a test, or we didn't win a listing, or, didn't win the bid. There was always something that we failed at. And so what I wanted to do is, Dana was like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, I know what I'm good at. I'm a really good failure, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about. So anyone heard of John Maxwell?
Yes.
All right. So have you read any of his books?
Yes.
Awesome. What are your favorite books?
Oh my gosh, I have to remember the titles.
There you go. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Anybody else? That's a good one, by the way. You're a book reader.
Laws of growth.
Positive growth?
Laws of growth.
Oh, Laws of Growth. Yes. I was like, is that a new one? Okay. Laws of Growth. Failing forward. Ding, 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 ding. Yep. So basically, you're turning mistakes into stepping stones for mistakes. Right? So that's one of my favorite books. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to share that because I am a successful failure. So I'm going to share my journey. So my story, everybody's got a story, right? I mean, that's kind of why we're up here, is I'm from Oklahoma. Yes, there are Asians that come from Oklahoma, right? I meet people in New York. They're like, you're from Oklahoma? Yes. So, immigrant family. They ended up in Oklahoma. I had no choice in it. I was just born there. And so, of course, you have the tiger parents. They want you to go to school and all these. No, I'm not talking to you, Siri. Okay. And, ultimately, what does every Asian parent want their kid to be?
Doctor,
a lawyer, right? Because you should be a lawyer because you talk a lot, Linda, right? You argue with us all the time. You should be an attorney. I go, I don't like reading. So being an attorney was not going to work for me. So I did go to college. I was an international business major, right? That sounded cool. 1994, that was like, ooh, international business major. So I was like, I'm going to do that. Did a couple internships thinking, I'm going to get a job. So my first failure as an adult was I couldn't get a job. That was so heartening because I graduated the top of my class. I was honors. I did all the right things, right? typical, Asian student, right? Perfect score, great 4.0, and I couldn't get a job in international business. And I thought, why not? What's wrong with me? So that was my first huge failure. And I'm in Oklahoma City, and there's no jobs in Oklahoma City unless you're in oil and gas or a call center, right? And I was like, I went to college. I don't want to be in a call center. I don't want to be in oil and gas. And so a few of my friends, they moved to Dallas, and they were like, oh, there's plenty of jobs in Dallas. So 3-hour drive, go to Dallas. So what was popular in the early 2000s? What was new? What was like the thing in Dallas? IT, technology. Anybody here with an MIS major or a technology major at all? Ever even went that direction? Then I had that moment of life where I'm like, maybe I should have been a computer science major. I was like, maybe that's what I should have done instead of international business, because that sounded cool. And so I come to Dallas. One of my MIS friends was like, oh, you should go talk to this recruiting company. I'm like, okay, maybe they can help me find a job. They ended up recruiting me to be a recruiter. That's what happened. That is my first job in Dallas. It was being a recruiter, looking for talent, right? So, I'm a people person. I'm in sales. I thought, okay, this kind of gets me into that role, right? So I'm going to the sales thing. And at 21 years old, I'm calling on companies, asking them for business. Like, who are you looking to recruit? Can I find them for you, right? And then the tech bubble happened in Dallas, for those that ever knew about that, So a lot of people were laid off. They didn't need recruiters anymore. There's all these people out in the market. You don't need a recruiter anymore. So then I was out of a job, right? I mean, we're not going to pay $20,000, $30,000 to go find us, a developer. We can find them all over the internet now. Thank you, monster.com. So I had to go figure it out again. So that was early 2000s. One of my recruiters that worked on my team, she decided to go into mortgage. She worked for her brother as a loan officer assistant. So she's like, well, it looks really lucrative. Maybe you should go into mortgage. I was like, mortgage? No one goes to college and says, I want to be a loan officer when I grow up, So I was like, well, I need a job. I just bought a house. I need to pay my mortgage. I need a job. So I thought, okay, why not? Let's go interview and go be a loan officer. So got my license, go work for a company, and that was 2001. So I got in the mortgage business in 2001, baby.
You didn't have to have a license in 2000.
Oh, that's right. I worked for a bank, too. I didn't need that license. Well, I still had to go through training. Still had to learn some stuff. So 2001, I'm a loan officer. I'm out talking to brokers, talking to loan officers, structuring loans, having fun. I'm like, okay, I really like this part of the business. I think I just like sales. Ultimately, it didn't matter what I did. I just needed to be in a sales role, and I needed to be around people. So then those are the things that I figured out in my life as long as I'm doing those two things, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like I can sell a widget probably if I believe in that widget. So 2001, going to mortgage, doing well, riding the train. Everybody's making money. We're having fun. I get recruited to work for this awesome company called Countrywide. Yes. Countrywide. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I want to challenge myself. This loan officer thing is kind of easy, boring. I just maybe I want to do the corporate thing. Maybe I want to, do something different. So I go join Countrywide. And then 2008 happened. Anybody doing real estate in 2008? Half the room? A few of us? Yes. So that was a big failure of life for a lot of people. We didn't see it coming. At all, right? We're just like, things are great. Everybody's moving to Dallas. We're doing real estate. And then 2008 happens, and then we all had a pivot, right? We had to do something, either take a second job, prospect more, find, or go find a bunch of investors to buy some of these short sales, right? Basically we all had to change our plan. And that was a failure for a lot of people because some of us were, I'll at least talk about myself. I was a little numb for about 3 months. I was like, what am I going to do? This is scary. People are getting laid off. Nobody can buy a house. What do I do? And eventually I got laid off. Countrywide got bought out by Bank of America. Bank of America was like, yeah, we don't need all you subprime people around. So they had to let me go. So I had to reinvent myself for a short period of time. Stayed the corporate route. I don't know why I did that, but I did. I stayed the corporate route. And I got into short sale. because that's what was going on, right? 2008 to 2011, everybody was in the short sale. So I was an asset manager. I managed a team of asset managers that signed off on bids and tried to sell houses, right? To anybody, a cash buyer that wanted to buy it. So that was a lot of learning, a lot of, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life? But then once I was in a short sale situation, I was an asset manager, I wasn't happy. I was just like a desk job, not a desk job person, right? So I was in it for 6 months and realized I gotta do something else. And I just realized I forgot to move my slide. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so we already went through my post-college dilemma. We did the first job and we're on to 2008. Okay, cool. And so 2008, I had to figure out what am I gonna do with my life? You know, I've done all this work. Oh, and I decided to do personal development. 2007, I went to school again and went back to school at SMU and get my MBA. Because, you know, Asian parents want you to keep getting more degrees. So I did. I got another degree. I got my master's degree thinking, oh, Bank of America's going to love me because I have an MBA. They're going to keep me around. Right. This is what I thought. And obviously that did not happen, but I do have an MBA. At least I could say that. Check the box. So during that time period, I was trying to figure out what did I learn, what am I good at, and how do I get myself out of the situation? So I quickly try to find my way back to retail, get back to sales, get back to what I'm good at. So with a little bit of time, in 2013, I got back into production. I got back into sales. I started getting back on the mortgage sales side, started hanging out with my people, my realtors, you know, and getting involved what Darlene was talking about. And I was just having fun again. I was just thriving. But it took some time. I had a lot of reflection in between all those moments, you know. Had some moments of crying and depression and feeling sorry for myself, thinking I thought I did all the right things, yet it's not working out for me right now. Why me, right? I'm sure some of us have had those moments where you're like, why is this happening to me? But the beauty of this, of being a professional failure, is that you know how to pick yourself back up, right? You just have, and then it's like, okay, I've cried, I've got to put my big girl panties back on, and I just got to go back out there, right? You just have to. And so, you know, life continues. Mortgage industry is going well again, right? We had a few refi booms. COVID happened, but we still all managed to smash it, right, in 2020, 2021. And then what happened at the beginning of 2022? Rates rise. People freak out. Everything comes to a screeching halt. And we're all like, uh-oh, what are we going to do now, right? For those who have been in the business for 20, 30 years, we're like, oh, we got this. You know, we know what we need to do. You double down on your activities, right? We kind of talked about that, like productions, touching people, touches, the whole bit. Same thing for us. I mean, in mortgage, we got to talk to more realtors. We got to talk to more buyers. How do we find potential buyers that are maybe thinking about looking to refinance or buy or renovate their house, whatever. However, which way I can make a financial deal happen, I'm looking for that deal. And so that's where, you know, that's what 2021 happened, 2022 happened. And then I had life changes happen. Anybody have like major life changes, like got married, got divorced, had a kid, you know, had a death in the family, something like we've all had that too. And when you're self-employed 1099, that affects your mindset, it affects your business, it affects how you move within your day. And so it's not necessarily a failure. Those are things that are out of your control, but at the same time, how you handle it is in your control, right? And we talk about, and I think someone's going to talk about mindset here in a little bit, but I wanted to like touch on that because I think if I didn't have a strong support group within my tribe, I probably will still be in the fetal position in my PJs, right? I mean, so who you surround yourself with matters. It truly does. And this is such a great organization and group of people that want to see you all succeed. I want to see you succeed because if you succeed, we all succeed, right? And it goes around in that cycle. So we talked a little bit about the personal growth piece and kind of like what has helped me. And it happens a lot. I mean, and some of you guys have probably already know this, and I'm probably, you know, just repeating myself, but it all starts with gratitude first. Because if you can't wake up in the morning and just like, and you're having a bad day, what am I grateful for? That's the reset of your mindset. is gratitude. And if you have to be old school and you want to write it down or just say it out loud, you just have to come back down and just go, okay, I am grateful to be alive today. And that's it. It could be something very simple, or that I have a roof over my head, or that I had a meal today, right? Those little things make some of the other issues that we're feeling seem a lot less massive, I guess is the right word to call it. Reinventing myself. We kind of talked about that in my story earlier, right? Went through a lot of iterations of Lindavo to try to get to this version today. And I'm sure there'll be many more versions that I'm going to be reinventing between now and the next 20, hopefully not, maybe 50 years for the rest of my life, right? Personal clarity. Sometimes you have to fail to find some clarity. Anybody have a big life thing happen and all of a sudden you find clarity? There you go. I see some hands in the back. And that's what helps us. I mean, sometimes you just have to sit with your thoughts just for a moment to just reflect and then find that clarity of, okay, why am I doing this? Am I doing this for the right reasons? Am I doing this because I love it? Am I doing it? Why? The why question, right? And then your journey. We all have a journey. And it's a beautiful journey. And it's your journey. It's your story. And this is the part where I really love mentoring and coaching, is that I like working with young people because they're a blank slate. They're just like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. What's my guidance? And so then you get to help them build their journey. And let them know it's okay to fail. You'll be much better for it because you have failed. And what did you do and how did you pick yourself up to fail forward, right? So that's kind of going into that journey. So quick lessons, and these are kind of summaries from the book. So failure can't be avoided, so think of it as a critical part of moving forward. I kind of talked about that earlier, right? Failure opens up new opportunities. I wouldn't have been in mortgage if I didn't fail, right? Who would have not? You might not have been in real estate if you didn't fail at something else before. Because did anyone come out of college wanting to be a real estate agent, first thing? Anybody? 2, okay. Daniel, you were inherited. So, that was an inheritance type of thing, so you're a little different. Say, okay, you might not be to blame for your failures, but you are responsible for your success. And I love that all of you guys are in here responsible for your success today. So that is on you guys. And then turning failures into knowledge is instrumental to success. Talks about that in a couple of chapters. And the last 2 are overcoming our fear of failure and taking new risks to bring long-term success. We like that. Long-term success. We want long-term success in this business. And to make the most of the opportunities for success, you need clear goals, which I'm sure you guys have heard over and over again. Social skills, which I'm sure everybody in this room knows how to talk to another human being, right? We all have social skills, and a positive mindset. So just reiterating and reinforcing a lot of things that we've already talked about today. And then at the end of the day, you own your destiny, right? It's up to you. So failing forward is about losing some of the conditioning we've come out of high school. I learned that, right? Being a valedictorian and all that fun stuff, thinking I'm going to be successful instantly because I was a 4.0 student. Not. And the paralyzing fear of failure. And I'm sure all of us, for our first big failure, we probably were pretty paralyzed. And even for the most talented of us, there's no question if we fail. But it's a matter of when. And I'm sure all of us will fail again, probably tomorrow. It's possible. But, once we do the real question comes to how do we react to it? So you get to control your emotions. You control your outcomes. So that is what I wanted to share today. Hopefully that was like some fun little reminders. And you can find me in the back. I'm here to the end if you want to chat. Talk shop, share war stories. I'm here for you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it. All right. So up next, we have Judy Wang. She's a mortgage broker as well, a real estate broker that we're partnered up together. And she's also a DISC coach. So putting all that together, we wanted to end with Judy, and then of course Calvin and I will speak at the end, and with Judy Ratsamy, but really to go over the DISC assessments. So we sent out a survey to our team. How many team members did it?
Probably almost 30 people.
So 30 people. That's only like less than one fourth of our organization. We have that link still. So if you still want to do the assessment, we're gonna keep it for about 2 or 3 months, and so we can get your report and we can go over this. I think it's very important that you understand your personality, and Judy's gonna take it from here. You want that help?
Come prepared. I'll let you do that. Which one is? No magnets. This one. One more. You can.
Hi everyone, how are you? Good. What I want to start is the most important. Oh, actually.
Is it not working?
Oh, no, right, because I didn't turn it on.
Oh, okay. There it goes.
So I want to start with success people get to where they want to go because they know where they want to go. And most people don't know where they want to go. And a lot of people go to places where they think they should go, or other people say they should go, or a lot of places where going where they have in mind for a long time. But the most important question that you can ever ask yourself is, what do I really want? And once you establish that question, that answer for that for yourself, and have everything you do and every decision you make to move forward in the direction of where your vision you say you have. And once you do that, the forces of life will rise up to meet you. And I want to introduce myself a little bit. I am a broker associate with EXP, and I'm also a mortgage broker. I have a mortgage company. And prior to that, is I have 25 years of experience at my own company in scrap metal recycling business. So seeing me like this today is not how I was before. Before I had hard head, t-shirt, jeans, boots, go out, have my hands on with material, with metals, talking to people, homeless people even, because that's where some of the scrap came from. But for that after that, because of all this business experience I have, building the company, with all the different experience, meeting different people, that build my entrepreneurship, and also with the business experience after I sold the company, I went into business coaching, and business coaching that helped me use my expertise and learning new things that to help different entrepreneurs to succeed in their business. And so that's why today I want to talk about DISC, which is part of the tools that I have learned to help the business owner, executives, entrepreneurship like yourself. And as sponsored by my company, Quality First Mortgage, because we want to be the partner to help you succeed in what you do in your career. So why this is it's a tool that I think that will help you, because it will help you identify yourself. We talk about where you want to go, what do you really want. First, I would like you to understand yourself. And this will identify your behavior. And after you identify your behavior, you will help you observe other people's behavior. And once you observe other people's behavior, then you also learn how to communicate better with other people. And that will help you with your career, building your team, or if you want to develop leaders in your group. So what some people what I said earlier, about 30 people that have done this assessment. So
what they get is today they will get just 2 pages of looks like this, but you will after this event that I will schedule one-on-one with you, which I will debrief. There are 54 pages in this report that will tell you we'll have this in value, which will tell you your individual assessment, how you behave, and what motivates you to behave the way you behave. And I hope in the communication style, which I hope that will help you in your business. And how many of you I know in the real estate business, how many of you feel like you're not only doing real estate, you're consulting other people? That is why, because the different communication style, how people are, how people behave, that you feel like, well, so hopefully this will help you understand their behavior, and not by judging them, not by judging your fellows partners, not judging your client. Why are they like this? Getting frustrated over that is to help you understand. Once you understand that, okay, that's how they are. So, earlier this is decisive. D is decisive, I is interactive, S is stabilizing, and C is cautious. And what are they? What do I have any volunteers in this group for people who did it? That do you can you volunteer for me to talk about your? Okay, so I have a few. And Joe, what are you? What's your highest score? Your S. Do you have one? I. Your I? Okay. And Ernesto? What's your highest score? You're more pretty even.
He's balanced. He's pretty
yeah,
balanced.
you're pretty balanced, but you are a combination, and you are high, and a little bit D. And Josh is high D, and you're high S. So what I want to talk about is D decisive is a problem. When you look at your D score. The high D, you're very demanding, you're very forceful, you're very decisive, you talk very direct, and but with a lower D, people tend to behave very mild. They're agreeable. They don't. They sometimes they feel like a thing is decisive, but on the interactive, people with high I, you are very gregarious, sociable. A lot of our realtors, we have that high I in us, and that we love sociable people, give us energy. We want to be around people. But low I, they tend to be like, well, I don't want to, talk to anybody today. I want Amazon delivery at my door. I don't want to open the door. That's more of high I. So, and it's how you interact with people. And on S, stabilizing is how the pace, how you do things. And S is more of when you have a high S, people are more persistent, predictable, sometimes complacent. You want the same thing every day. You want that process. But the lower S, that you don't mind things going different directions, and you want to change things up a little bit. And high S, though, they don't like changes. You want them to change, they will keep kicking and screaming at you. But once they change, they become your change agent, and they will help you change in the organization. And so, but they make decisions slow. They want to think about it. They want to know the facts. They want to know people have done it, so that they feel comfortable. They want to feel that security. So that's high S. In high C, we're talking about cautious, means that they want everything to be perfect. They don't want to make mistake. They are probably high C, your TC, your transaction coordinator. They're probably a high C. They like that detail. They ask a lot of questions, where it's very different from your high D. High D are people who just give me 1 or 2 sentences, bullet point. I don't want all the details. That just drives me crazy, right? And then talk to me direct, and I can just make decision like that. Hi, I as well. Hi, I that you can make decision quickly as well. You want that interaction, you don't want that collaboration, and then high S and high C, we tend to make decisions slowly. Like we want the facts, we want the information. And high D and high C, if you're high D, high C, or high C, that you're task oriented. You just go you task driven. But high I and high S, you are people driven. You you can talk individually. You can carry different conversations, talking over here, talking over there, but they may not have a conclusion, but they okay doing that. So you kind of have to get things out of them, a conclusion out of them. But high S, they are very team oriented. So they'll help button in the team. They want to accommodate everyone, want to make sure that everyone is okay. And so when you talking to your clients, understand yourself first. But when you talking to your client, talking to your partner, talking to people in your relationship, in personal relationship, that knowing this, that will help you. Oh, I understand. That's how he is. Like Josh. Oh, he just left the room. But Josh, I had a debrief with him yesterday. He volunteered for me to talk about it. That he's high D. He's very direct, forceful, and that's how he talks sometimes. And that's how he thinks. But when he talking to the clients, someone who lower D or higher C, they feel that it's intimidating, and they may tend to back off-putting for some people. So knowing that about yourself and going out there talking to people, this will help you just to understand each other a little bit. And so the next I want to talk about the conversation style. With D, we have mentioned earlier, they're very fast-paced and talking direct. They express emotion, and when they will interrupt you. High D, they just won't get there. They won't get to the point. That's it, exactly. I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, they know it's totally high D. We love that about you. Stuff gets done. That's right. High D is that get things done. Then let me just go.
We wouldn't have this if it weren't for you being a DI.
That's true. And he's high D, high I. High D, get things done. And high I is like, hey, I want to be around people. I want to collaborate. And that's why we partner exists, right? Because it started with Daniel, right? And there we go. Let's give you a round of applause. And then high I, they can carry different conversation at different time. We had talked about earlier, which I know you feel like yourself out like that. You probably high I if you didn't take the test, which the assessment. And then they can have an open question and open answer for you. Hey, what are you doing today? Or what do you like? They like those type of questions if you want to draw answer out of them. And they talk very enthusiastic, and then they're very colorful in their conversation, and they can talk about the color. The sky is blue, the car is red, and then they can talk about all these things. But before they forget, I'm talking to you about whatever it is you're talking about. So when you're high I, you do you do want to tend to kind of understand, hey, that's me, but who am I talking to? Who are my audience, right? So, and if it's people with high D, like I don't have time for that. What are you talking about? They will skip you if you're trying to go on the same presentation, right? You do want to understand that a little bit. And high I, can give you a quick response, and then like I said, can be off track on your conversation that we said earlier. And S is the slower paced conversation. They want meaningful, deep, thoughtful conversation. and they talk like this too. And so, and that Joel, that I remember you high S, and you want to tell us a little bit about what you think about your conversation style.
I would say that it's pretty accurate. Like if you ever had a conversation with me, then you know that I'm basically that right there. If I'm not that, it's because I don't feel comfortable around you. Yes. It's that simple.
So see his pace, right? And it's very reserved. He doesn't, and it's high, and I'll share the emotion behind it too. And then the high C is also slow paced. The conversation, they want to ask a lot of questions. But they're task oriented. So if you give them a task 1, 2, 3, or 5, and they will do it. And how I describe the difference high D, high I, high S, high C is it till all group of people, 4 with different personality behaviors, and tell them, hey, I want to get to the mountain right there. Before you finish saying right there, high D is already there. High D is let me just go. That's the goal. I see the goal. I see the big picture. Let me get there. But high I is like, oh, okay. What are we doing here? The grass. What are we? Who is going? Are you going? Are you going? They start talking to different people, and they'll slowly they're going. But as they go, they start talking to all different people. But high S is, who have we done this before? Who has done this before? What is gonna happen? What kind of things is gonna happen on the mountain? Are we gonna see the avalanche? Are we gonna see a flood? We're gonna see tornado or that's high S. Gonna need all the facts before. So they're still at the bottom of the mountain. They're thinking about all this, talking about all this, but then high D is already ahead and high is coming behind. And high C is asking, well, what do we need? Do I need a backpack? Do I need some water? Do I need some crackers? Do I need what do I need? So those I just give you overall in an analogy of difference high D, high I, high S, I C. There's no judgment here because in life we need all different kind of people around us, right? So we need, because high D, when you climb halfway, oh, I'm thirsty. They'll find high C. They'll find high C. Hey, do you have water for me? And they'll say, oh, I'm so lonely. I'm by myself. Hey, let me find a high I to talk to, or find S and be more logical about it. So, in life, we all need different type of people. But, like I said, this is a way to understand yourself and also a way for you to help your relationship as well. And the communication preference. So as we interact that, you want to be specific, talking to Heidi, give me a bullet point, and then think big picture. Don't talk to him about details. And I get frustrated over it. And so when you see Heidi frustrated, when you see your client walks out, then maybe that's what it is. Got to change it up. You got to adapt. That's what the first slide was, adopt the communication style. And high I is you want to connect with them emotionally, and because they love people give them energy, so that they may, like I said, they may leave the details out, but they have this big picture concept, just like the high D. And you want to ask about their opinion. So you don't want to say, hey, the listing price is this. But you want to ask them, hey, how do you feel about that? So, and high S is be agreeable and sociable, be patient, not to push them too hard. That's another thing. You don't want to keep, if the high S, they don't really make decisions that fast. So when you go on listing appointment, when you, as a buyer, do you like this house? Do you want to make an offer on this house? I know we have multiple offers. We have a deadline. But high S, sometimes they don't care. They need that security. They need to find that fast. They need to, even though they lose the deal, they still want to have that for them to make sure they finding that facts that before they can make that decision. And so when you don't try to keep pushing them for that answer. And you also want to keep peace, don't rock the boat, and be patient with the highest. And high C is you want all the details. Like I said, that you want to prepare print out all your CMA, cloud CMA clearly. They want all that in an organized way, orderly way, because they're afraid to be wrong. They want to get everything correct. So they have that fear for themselves. So high D, the fear for high D is loss control, being taken advantage of, and being vulnerable. So they high D, you will see that they want to think ahead. They want to have that big picture, so that they know that they have control over it, and they get frustrated. They get anger quickly if they have that fear. And this we can just go over quickly the limitation, which we talked about before. But like I said, this session here is to help you and to not to judge each other, but to help each other seeing the weaknesses and work with them, understanding them. So the limitations, they can be insensitive, they can be direct, that people can get put off by how they come forceful and the way that they talk. And it's not, there's no intention behind it. It's just how it's habitual. All this behavior is habitual. You develop over your however many years that what happened to you before, and then throughout your environment, who you're dealing with, and then how you interact people. This is how it's no intention behind it. And high I, their fear is, we talk about FOMO, high I especially, they're afraid that social rejection and loss of influence and big ignore. So when they, missing out on an event, missing out, they feel insecure, they feel upset that, hey, I don't want to miss that. And the limitation, they can be impulsive, do things on the fly. But now you understand how Daniel is. When he comes asks you, hey, I want this tomorrow, don't get offended. That's Daniel. Like go follow through. So he tends to get he has an assistant that help him with that, and disorganized, but which that's why you have assistant, right? So we kind of knowing our weaknesses itself, and then which we talk about conversation style, and then we help they understand ourselves, then we can help ourselves to be better. And the high S, the fear is lose stability, lose security. They don't like change. They want harmony, and they don't want to offend other people. And so they said they want to make sure they accommodate everyone and want to help everyone. And the limitation is sometimes can be over accommodating. So those are the things that they don't like change. Like I said, kicking and screaming, indecisive. It takes time for them to decide something.
Can you go back once?
Oh, okay. There you go.
Thank you.
And in high C, fear is a fear of being criticized, being wrong. So the limitation is they can be overcritical to themselves and to others as well. And their conversation we have, and then they tend to isolate themselves. So when you see high C, the high I may come and help rescue them. So you do want to recognize that for yourself or for your fellow agents. Yes, go ahead. What's that?
Slipshod method. Fierce.
Oh. That one I actually don't know about that one. Wow. That's good.
Yeah. Only partial effort. Yeah. Okay. Sloppy.
Mm-hmm. So that's why fear, because they're high C because they're so organized. They're orderly and want everything to be right. So when you're dealing with the conversation, they will come and ask you question after question after question after questions, and then So, I mean, that's their conversation style. So you want to be prepared to, get your coffee or something before you talk to someone in the high seat. And so that's what a brief description of DISC. So for me, being a business coach, have the business coach experience is a tool for me to help my client. That's how I serve my client, to go in before, while talking to them and adjusting their style, adjusting conversation style and understand. And so to help the realtors win the deals too. And not just the realtors, it's really hard for them to already get the deals in. And as a mortgage broker, I use that, it's in my tool, in my wheelhouse, so that I help the realtors keep the clients, so that's something that I want to give to you, that, like I said, if you already did the assessment, that you can reach out to me, or I reach out to you also, that after the event we can do a debrief. Give me 1 hour, then I'll debrief you, because a lot of combination, because like we said, we specify high D, I, and S, but there's the combination. What does that mean? People with high D, high C, it's a conflict between their head all the time. High D want to make decision fast. High C is very slow. They want information. So there's different combination. Everyone and the different scores. So that's something that I want to be a service for you, be a value add for you guys, and reach out to me. I'll debrief for you. And then people who haven't done it, that reach out to me. Yes, 54 pages. So then after the event, I'll email to you. Whoever, after we debrief, then I'll email to you, and you can share with anyone. I won't share it. It's up to you to share. And then people who haven't done it can contact me or Daniel. We can give you the link for it. And next, I want to talk about is value. Why do I want to talk about other than the DISC? This is your behavior, what you're doing. But value means why you're doing. What motivates you in your life to do what you do, to take that action, to have that behavior. So there's 7 different values, and which is on your second page. That looks like this, different color. And I will just explain quickly what all 7 is, and then again, we're gonna have a one-on-one debrief, and I can talk to you more between. There's sometimes the value will drive what I talk about the DISC. Sometimes it could be majority how you behave, but there's some, because the value that drive you have a different type of behavior. So aesthetic are people who likes harmony, balance, beauty. So people who in your workspace, that people who have low aesthetic, you can work in a white box. You have no problem, no issue working just like the each individual box office there. You have no problem working there. But with a high aesthetic, I want to put some flower here. I want to put some picture here. I want to make this looks nice, and that's how I feel I can work in this environment. High economic people with high economic are people who return of investment are important to them. Not just money. There's money, time, and effort. That they feel that whatever they put in, they want to have a measurable result. And then that's people with high economic. That if I put in the time, what am I getting out of this? If I put in this money, how do I get out? What am I getting out of this? But people who with low economic, that they could be driven by responsibility and duty. So there's no good or bad. It's just where you score. And individualistic is people who are independent, unique, and that can changes all the time, and then they make changes just for the sake of change, because they want to do their own way. but people who have lower individualistic and that they can they just give me whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And political are people who want to be in charge and that want to influence and have control. And low political that and that I'm in the room. I don't mind you take control. That I'm okay. And high altruists are people who want to help people. So there are people who have low, like high. A lot of us here, like mentor, we can have actually high economic but low altruist. Doesn't mean that, but we're mentor. That means, hey, I see that this is getting me some economic financial gain. I have something I can measure, so that I help people. So not necessarily everyone that here helping people is say, hey, and people who are high altruist means like, hey, I see people's success is my success. So I want to see people succeed, and that's why I'm helping people. So the different motivations. And regulatory means that people like structure. That high C is they want to follow structure. But high regulatory means that I can create one if there's none there. Doesn't mean I will follow it, but I'll create that. And high theoretical are people who like to learn. They will learn just about anything. They can Google. Earlier we talked about Google. Google, they say Google whatever topic, and then the next thing you know, they're looking at something that has not relevant to that at all. But people with lower theoretical doesn't mean they don't learn, but they learn with a purpose. They learn it because, hey, I need to study for something else, and then they will learn for that sake of it. So this is just briefly about the 2 pages report that you're getting, but we will talking, like I say, the combination of different things that you'll be all different. But as a coach side, that we earlier talked about how to create goals. So several speakers talking about how to create goals. What you do every day is, I also help how to establish SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound goal. Because that's how we stay on task, get to where we want to go. And that's another, there's so many different tools that we to help you succeed. So that's my value prop for you, to give you tools to be successful in your business. Thank you.
You want a lapel or you want Mike? Lapel? All right, we're going to have Calvin come up. Mindset.
My mind is thinking about what to eat right now. Wow, man, like what a jam-packed morning, right? So we got social media, we got all the good stuff. So one of the things I want to mention is Karen's here.
Karen is there.
Oh yeah. So one of the great things about Karen being the managing brokers is like she's not only just a broker, right? So you heard her speak earlier. She's like a coach. I mean, she's a coach, right? She has been coaching like big teams and all that. and you can just go to EXP World and go talk to her, and she can drop some nuggets to kind of help you on growing your business, and just giving you some ideas on what to do in your business, not just like telling you, oh, this contract, whatnot. But so really just leverage that, right? Because that's the value, and it kind of go back before we even plug into EXP. Is like we don't have all these resources, right? But now resources is there. Just go into EXP World. We're just fortunate that in Texas we have Karen as our broker and also a coach. But of course, Judy's also a coach as well, and she spent a lot of time and effort reviewing all your disc profile for those that have done it. Good job. I also did it myself. I see a change in my disc profile, and I was surprised that it changed because I used to be a very high D. Now that I'm, when I look at the report, I was like, I have a high I right now. So
did I tame you?
it could be the environment too, right? So I is more like influential and kind of more caring and things like that. I mean, so thanks Judy for helping us and all that.
It comes with getting older.
Oh, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. I'm not quite 50 yet, but I'm definitely getting there. And then there's also one that's like autistic or something. Let's see. Yeah. So. Yeah. Aesthetic. So that's my lowest score in aesthetic. So you're not into artistic expression, blah blah blah. So maybe as I grow older, that will change too. But so really, it's just the environment that you plug into, right? So mindset. What is this? Where's the? Right. Who recognized this guy? Right? I mean, I was looking at some quotes yesterday, and when I read the first sentence, immediately I thought about like me, right? So you were born to win. So think about when you were like just a little sperm, you were swimming like, you outrun everybody to get it, right? So you're born to win. If you just think of that for a second, like just, I'm not a biology major, but I should have known this, but you're swimming like in thousands, you're trying to get to one direction, one goal, and you did it. That's why you're here. So that means you already won on day one, right? And you are destined to continue to win, but you have to plan. Now you're here, you're breathing and all that good stuff, you're enjoying life. You got to plan to win, and you have to be prepared to win, right? And expect to win. So all this, like, just, there's only one thing, if I can kind of let you take away from today's, is just think about, like, you are a winner. You are a born winner because you outswim, right? You swim, like you outdid everybody so that you can be here. So, what they put in your coffee, man? Someone may put some CBD in there, or like, I don't know. I just got back from Denver, so like, maybe Daniel put something in my coffee or whatnot. But so if you think about that for a second, nothing is impossible, right? You are here for a reason, and you are here to win. As long as you plan, you prepare, and you expect to win. When you make that offer for your client, you have to show that confidence. When you give a call to that seller agent, you have to just imagine yourself, like perception. You talk about perception. It's like you have to perceive that you are winning already, because that energy will carry through your conversation, and the other side is going to feel it. The other side is going to feel like, oh man, I want to do this with this agent because he's like solid, he or she's solid, he knows what he's doing, and all that. I'm sure over the course of your career path, you may be like, oh my God, on the opposite side, the agent is like, you're banging your head to the wall, like, oh my God, it's so difficult to deal with that person. Like, did that person pass the license exam or, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys have like dealing with another side of agents. So, but if you kind of twist it, like if you perceive yourself as in a multiple offer situation or any condition, if you perceive yourself like you are expecting to win that contract, that confidence is gonna pass through, right? I mean, whenever you're on the phone, that other side's gonna feel like you, man, I want to do this deal with you, and things like that. So, next. Okay, so Jordan. So, I mean, throughout my high school, I played a lot of basketball, and Jordan's that's kind of one of my. Of course, I'm Asian, right? There's no way I can become Jordan. So, the three type of people, right? Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen, and others make it happen. So, let me repeat that again. Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen. So, which one are you? Right? Just let that sink in, right? So that's why, in this world we have leaders, we have followers, and then we have some that, doesn't even know what happened. They're just like cruising along and just wasting their life. So I want you to like really sink in and think about yourself as someone that can make things happen. Think of yourself like you do have the ability to make things happen. Now, of course, in today's world, you have to collaborate, right? Because if you want to get to the next level, because you only have 24 hours a day, and your time, your knowledge, your skill set, sometimes it's very limited. So in order to get to the next level, you have to be in an environment that the people that you interact with is going to be a positive influence to you so that you can get to the next level. So really think of yourself like you do have the ability to make things happen if you believe in yourself, right? There are no secrets to success. A lot of time, like people go to like all this like different like coaching programs, seminar, hoping that the coach will drop like some nuggets, like, okay, here's the secret, here's the elevator, here's the lift to be successful. There's really no secret to success other than preparation, hard work, then again, and learning from failure, right? So preparation, I think the secret ingredients all comes from the hard work. You really have to work at it, right? Don't wait for opportunity, create it. So one of my friend, he is in a building supply business. So when he first started, right, so the building supply, so he's like thinking about, hey, I need to get into supplying to the top builders in the country, Toll Brothers and what other builders out there? David Weekly and all that, right? So he set a goal to try to get into that, So how did he do it? I mean, eventually he succeeded, right? So he doesn't wait for opportunity. He created. How did he create the opportunity? So he started researching like the director that handles all the buying decision. So he will analyze and find out where does he go, like hang out, or he will create that opportunity, and he will, because of course now with the security and all that, it's harder now. Like he would go to that office building where he office at and try to create that opportunity so he can bump into that person. Do you know how hard that is? Because you don't know his schedule, right? It's it's all by a lot of preparation. But he's creating that opportunity so that he can be in front of that person and talk to that person, right? The buyer. So that has been, kind of instilled in me a lot of times. So as I reflect on my business, if I want something, if I want to do business with the Fortune 500 companies, I have to create that opportunity to be in front of that person. And obviously, right now with technology, sometimes it's easier a little bit because you got LinkedIn and all that. You can connect them. But of course, you have to make that effort to create that opportunity. So you guys kind of get what I'm trying to say, right? So it's not like being lucky or whatnot. It's really carefully plan it out, the course of action, carefully put in the effort to create that opportunity. So I think I'm missing some of the slides, but it's okay. Think about the sperm. but with that,
I cut you off.
Maybe that's why it's like time's up, but the thing is what stops you from getting to the next level is just your mindset. If you think about hey, I cannot do it, I don't have this, I don't have connections, I don't have money, I don't have I didn't graduate from SMU, or Yale or MIT. Those are just limited factors. That doesn't matter at all. I strongly believe college degree is only have a short-term impact on your life as far as your career path and whatnot, in the beginning stages, right? Just as you graduated, you need that, maybe you need that degree to get to a certain jobs, but after that, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter at all, because what it all matters is whether you have the vision, whether you have the desire to win, the desire to get to the next level, because that's more powerful than what you learn at school or connection. Because the strong will is gonna get you through. You can literally do a lot of things, because if you look at the Olympics, right? The records are meant to be broken, right? Over time, the fastest person, guess what? The next Olympic, someone came through and blow it all out. It's all about the will and desire to really break through. So if you are making $500,000 this year or $1 million this year, what's stopping you from getting to the next level, right? But of course, the Tina, she's or Ian, right? They basically they try to not schedule so that they can the freedom and all that, so they don't really have to make that much. But the thing is, but Ian was but so really it's all about your mindset. If you set a goal and really focus and really put in the effort, you get there. All right, that's all I have.
All right. So my name is Daniel Annie. If you're new here, welcome to everyone. My focus is growth. I told my business partner Calvin that this year my focus was to try to get organized. I'm a high D and a high I. I'm not very organized, but I have a team to help, Judy and all the partners here to help get this organized together, because this is our network. So really what I want to focus on is, what does growth mean? Growth in your business, growth in your personal development. I was fortunate enough to go through the success coaching that EXP has. We purchased Success Enterprise. Tony Robbins' son is the president of that company, and they had a coaching session, and I actually did DIS assessment and things like that. So it was really great to understand that. I'm not a coach, even though I have a little certification, but I did that for my own personal development, so I can support the team, so I can help you guys out and find and identify stronger leaders in our network. So when I say network, it's not our brokerage, right? Brokerage, the EXP side, that's the platform, right? We created a network, and of course I have my Invest team, Calvin and we have our Invest team of our commercial brokers. But then this network is really powerful because we're creating, if you heard our mission before, it's putting these entrepreneurs together, right? You as real estate agents, you guys got into the business yourself. I didn't tell them, hey, get your real estate license and sell homes or sell commercial property. That was your decision. But now let's take it to the next level. You have to grow, right? The first 2 years, yes, you might be killing it, but what happens after the 2 years? We see the stats, people just drop off the business. We don't want to be that 82 whatever percent that drop off. We want to be this 20%, right? That stay together, grow together, and that's why when we came up with the name We Partners, actually before our network, Calvin actually had our LLC called We Partners LLC. We never advertised it, but that was just our LLC name. But then I was like, wow, we actually can utilize this name and create a network and grow from there. And you guys are part of it. So you just know that this is not my network, this is not Calvin's network, this is y'all's network. All right. So when I talk about growth, right, we're at 160 plus people in our network. Imagine if every person brought in a partner together. That's over 300 people. When 300 people are here and everyone gets one more, that is 600 people. That is the growth of this platform that allows us to grow if we want to grow. Some team members are like, hey, Daniel, I don't want to grow. I just want to focus on production. Great, right? Some people want to do more coaching. Like Judy, when we partnered up, she wanted to do more coaching. Great. So that's why with the DISC, D-I-S-C, we all need that in our organization, right? That's how we're going to grow. If I went to Champions Real Estate School, I can pull agents all day long, right? Just get new people. But who's going to coach them? I'm not that person, right? But that's not what we want. So I hope that we have a strong growth in our network because we really need we need leaders, right? So find your leaders to partner up with. Right? If they're new agents, that's great. If you're willing to coach them, then coach them. Be their leader. But hopefully that leadership goes down so they can start growing to become a leader. And if this network you look at Ian. Ian has 2,500 agents or partners in his network. And he did that, I think, within 5 years, right? And it just continues to grow, right? If you're new to EXP, you don't understand the platform, we can share. Whoever brought and invited you, we'll sit down. Today was not talking about EXP. Today was talking about how we're building our network. You know, Brittany, I appreciate you coming. Bettina, they all have their own organization that they're growing. So we can leverage our partners, our shareholders within the organization. I had one of our, I think she's my tier 4, that joined Brittany's group, internal group, because she needed more coaching, she needed more help. And I said, well, actually, I think she did one of your open houses. They connected, and she asked, hey, Daniel, is it okay? Like, of course, it's your business. If you want to partner with Brittany, great, right? And I know she's looking to grow her internal team, so anyone that's in our organization that wants to, and she's willing to bring you on, do that too. Bettina, same thing. I know a couple of our team members go to your Friday event every week that you have that. That's the power of this organization. You're not my agent. Who you bring on is not your agent, right? I had my own brokerage firm in the past. I had 2 franchises. Calvin and I ran it, and I was always the broker of record. I took on the risk, but then everyone under that we brought in, that's my agent, and that was the mentality. With this platform, nobody is my agent. You are not mine, right? And we are partners, so we're all on the same level. We all have the opportunity for growth. So hopefully that in your real estate business, don't get discouraged with the, all the news, the interest rates. Did it go up yesterday?
I think they're going to announce it today.
Okay. So there's always news, right? There's always something. So don't take that as a negative, right? We're going to have obstacles,
right? But we got to get through it, but get through it together, right? And Debbie's from Austin. She's one of our Icon team members as well. She flew in yesterday, and just she's being a leader, right? She's growing her team in Austin, and with this platform, we have people in Miami that are coming on board. Lucia connected me with a lady there. I think she's on Zoom. Say hi from Miami. We have another gentleman that you connected from San Diego this week, just through LinkedIn, and he wanted to grow, but he had an obstacle, and we found a solution. So from there, just talk to people, right? You're talking to clients, you're dealing with real estate agents all the time, even mortgage lenders. Why do we have people that are on the lending side that are have their real estate license? They partner up in this network because there's value, right? As you're growing together, there's value. We have people in the title business, we have attorneys, we have syndicators. I think we have a couple real estate syndicators back there that are just investors, right? They have their real estate license. They come in here because one of the things that Calvin and I were looking at, like, we need more investors for our projects. Well, imagine when we have 1,000 partners and everybody wants to invest, right? Well, we have 1,000 people we can connect to, and of course they have their investors. That's powerful, and that's why we want to grow. I don't look at revenue share or the growth as a economic or a money thing, because I look at people as people, right? Elizabeth Riley is one of my leader partners, and she says, and she has, I don't know, Elizabeth has what, 12, 14,000 people. People join people, right? And I hope that when you understand what our network means, it's people join people, and that's what it is. It's not about the revenue share. It's not about the stocks. Those are all great. Those are all value props. But if being authentic, right? You have to be authentic if you're going to grow your organization. So hopefully, by having these leadership retreats, this helps you guys out. I was talking to Calvin and Judy, and I texted them the other day, and I was like, man, I hope our team feels like they see value in us putting this together, because it's a lot of work, right? I had anxiety this week, and just like, is anyone coming? Just because it's a free event, and just what if they don't show up, right? Because usually like 30, like maybe 50% don't show up, right? Because when I had my own brokerage, getting the agents to come was like pulling teeth. But you guys showed up, right? You guys are leveling up by engaging and learning because you guys want something. And I hope that this is helping. And this room won't fill us up. We probably need a bigger venue next time. You look at Brent Gove. He does big, massive events. He has thousands of people for his events. There's going to be a Build conference in San Antonio in July. That's another leader in the organization. He has 19,000 people in his organization. 19,000. And he past 2 years, he had Tony Robbins speak at his event. I think he spent like 1.5 million, But he's just a regular guy, right? He's just like you and me, but he has a vision. He has a determination. He found good partners to partner up with. And the same thing, we can do the same thing. And that's why when I set our vision to have 10,000 plus, I know we can do it. It's just a matter of time and how much work we want to put together to do it. It's not from me. It's from you guys. So hopefully, you guys add growth as your business plan. Rob Flick is also one of our leader partners. He has 20,000 people, right? And when just hearing him, and he's just a short little dude. I mean, he's a nice guy, but he just talks to people all the time. He's just friendly, but he found his leaders. So I'm learning from them, so I can teach you guys, so you guys can continue that on by finding your leaders, right? We have a lot of leaders here. And so imagine you have 10 strong leaders, 10 people get 10 people each. That's 110 people right there. And that's a strong group. You don't have to go thousands if that's not your goal. But finding 10 strong leaders, I think that should be everyone's goal. Finding good partners to work with. It doesn't have to be in this market. We can go all 50 states. We're currently in 24 countries. We're the largest independent brokerage in the world with almost 90,000 people. So, I mean, that just continues on, right? And the vision of commercial, the realty side, the global side, is just amazing just being part of this organization. So I can talk all day. I'm a high I. And my D, for some reason, went equal to my I. Because I was a middle D, it was kind of like Calvin. Something, it flipped. So I don't know if the network has made me to be stronger in personality. I don't know. Switch, yeah, something switched. So where's Judy at? Judy, I'm really proud of Judy. So when we parted ways with our other brokerage and terminated our franchise, it was only Judy left when we started 2 years ago. And Judy stayed on, and from there she's growing her organization, and I wanted her to close it out because it's about leveling up and bossing up. So let's give it to Judy.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. We're gonna break out for lunch here shortly, and then come back at 1:30 for the escape room. So I'm gonna pick some team members that have done it before, so I can make sure I escape my room. So, I mean, what's the purpose of these type of events? Number one, to set an example and to show that anybody can do these events, and that everybody will go out and support them because we are all partners and we're all friends. And I think the underlying thing that everybody was speaking about was service and serving others and serving yourself. So when you leave this room, because we go to all these type of events, right, to get charged up, to learn things, we listen to podcasts, and then what do we do after that? We have to implement these things. We have to go and be leaders and go and teach others the things that we've learned, and that's how you learn things twice, right? But what my challenge today is going to be is throw an event. Calvin, Daniel, and I will be there to support you wherever it is. So I've never met people so giving, so encouraging, and because of that, I think that everybody should be the same, right? Because you can level up, but then if you're not leveling up and serving other people, then what's the point? So, but yes, we've got lots of options for food, so we can pull up the app and I guess break out to wherever you want to just be back by 11 or 1:30? 1:30 for the escape room. And
So there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Oh, yeah.
So our decision was to break out because there's a lot of different people in different groups, different organizations. So there's a lot of food options downstairs. We can have 50 people at the escape room.
Yes.
So 50 people. Hopefully you guys stay back because we paid for that. That was like $1,800 from our sponsors. Appreciate for that. But break out your lunch. Come back downstairs at the escape room. If you need to leave stuff here, we'll lock the doors or have we can leave our stuff. But the goal is to meet with new people, right? If you have your organization here or your team, bring other people along with you and mingle, right? So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take more pictures. See you guys back at 1:30. Don't leave, please don't leave. Make sure at 1:30 downstairs escape room. It will be done by 3 o'clock. So.
Just keep swimming, huh?
Right.
Just keep swimming. That was so good. I was like, you're right. I was born to win. I'm already a winner.
You like that, huh?
Yeah. Dang. That clicks. Sometimes things click.
The talking.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Japanese